I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal for how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rocker in Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. Welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. Man, y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right? Okay. I see y'all. Y'all know how we do. Blue tears, orange tears, orange tears. Bam, let's go. Let's go. King Ribby's in the building. Wayne Peterson. Bronx Mel is in the building. Bronx, stand up. Bronx, stand up. I see you out here. Bronx, New York. Bronx, New York. Stand up. JJ is in the building. TL is in the building. Hinton Murphy is in the building. What's good, Mr. Murphy? What's happening? Adam, what's good? I see you. Building Blocks is in the building. BT, are you with me? Is in the building. What's good? What's good? Dominic is in the building. I think Dominic may have a beard now, I think. Dominic may have a beard now, right? Nick G, 2K1 is in the building. Shout out to Nick G. Nick G, 2K1 is in the building, man. What's happening? Mets, what's good? I see you, man. I see you. I see you. I see you, man. What's good, y'all? Oh, IKBM Dre is in the building. So let me first say thank you to everybody that supports the Lawrence Tears family and the Lawrence Tears movement, man. The overwhelming support, the support at times can be overwhelming. I ain't gonna lie to you. Me and Dre did a podcast the other day, episode for the podcast, and it's like, I think it got like such and such amount of downloads. Like the one me and Dre did together got like 209 downloads in 2 days. And while that number doesn't sound like a lot compared to YouTube views, man, that's something, y'all. So shout out to y'all supporting us as we just talk that talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. Right? Man, shout out to y'all. Abdul from San Diego is in the building. Boulevard 73. One of the main Chief Rockers on Lawrence Tears, Boulevard 73 is in the building. What's good, Bully? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Okay. Salute y'all. Man, salute to our wide and diverse audience, man, that come in here and rock with us as we talk Knicks and NBA basketball and more Knicks and NBA basketball and more Knicks. Right? Shout out to everybody that listens to us on the audio podcast, man. I'm just gonna say this real quick to my man Dre. Dre, we usually have subpar or not subpar, but we usually have low numbers on the Apple Podcast. Usually, we usually win. We usually win on Spotify, but I did the joint, and I don't know what it is about Dre and Apple Podcast, but they love Dre on Apple Podcast, man. That's a beautiful thing to see. I looked at numbers and all that stuff, and I was like, okay, the folks over there on Apple Podcasts must love some IKBM Dre. So shout out to Dre for doing good work. Man, this Pepsi Zero Sugar is legit, bro. And Dre says that's love. Yeah, man. Hey, man, yeah. Hold on for a split second. Y'all. Yeah, it's for some reason people are not showing up. I'm not for sure why that is. Aha! Mega NYK, I see you. I do see you. Bim. How about that? How about that? Bim. Okay, BM Dre says Blazers have the 3 pick up for grabs. Bim. Bim. Hey, man, let's talk about these rumors, man. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat, man. And I want to talk about these rumors because I want to talk about these rumors and things. I want to talk about these rumors and things and how they affect the NBA landscape. The first thing I want to do, though, is I want to tell Boulevard 73 all the way off. Bro, Bully, how in the world do y'all do a dope show 2 Sundays ago and then now y'all can't even get back on the mic? What are y'all superstars now? Boulevard 73, y'all superstars. We got to beg Boulevard to get on the mic. Like, yo, come on, man. Please, Boulevard, please get on the mic. Him, Boulevard 73 and CL Smooth, Corey Lee did the 718 boys, man. They rock together. They have good chemistry, right? Bronx Mel is in the building. So they have good chemistry and all that stuff. They rock the mic, man. They do great. Yeah, bully that dude. Bully that dude when we let him talk. When we shut up and let Bully talk, bully that dude, right? But I don't know if he a superstar now or not. Like he don't even come on no more. Right? Let me bring my guys on here. Oh, all right, coming hot. All right, hey, easy, coming hot. Hey, boss.
Ron Cleveland. What's
What's
good,
going
Ron?
on, fellas?
Good,
What's going
Breezy.
on?
What's
Hey,
good,
Breezy,
Mets?
yesterday when I
What's good,
disappeared, man, I had my daughter at the her dentist, man. She had to get them braces off yesterday. You know what I mean?
Ouch.
You know what I mean? So
Been through
That
that.
sounds nice.
I had to disappear and was driving in that car, so I was like, I can't get into it the way I want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to apologize for leaving abruptly. You know what I mean? But
Bro,
hey, man, how everybody doing?
I called you too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I called you because I was like, yo, he just disappeared abruptly.
I didn't know how I missed the call, man. I don't know how.
Nah, I got you. Nah,
Plus, I was on baby duty too.
Oh, Pop, he was on Papa duty.
Watching my little niece, man. So
Okay.
You know, had a little ball yesterday. I like the topic you got for today, though.
Yeah, man.
I like it. I think the question is answered.
Yeah, man.
It is answered, Freezy. Think about it. 2 years in a row,
Yeah.
we've seen this. Actually, more. We've seen this combination, but at the most important time, this combination don't come through together, and that's the playoffs. You know, the regular season they do pretty good. You know what I mean? Other than this regular season, because we know RJ struggled pretty much all regular season, but that hadn't been pretty much the case. But when you look at what we trying to attain, and in the playoffs, 2 years in the playoffs, this combination of those two guys together on the floor, for whatever reasons, is not clicking. So one, or if not both, got to go.
All right.
If I'm in the front office, I'm telling you which one. If I got to pick, I'm keeping RJ.
Okay.
And I'm moving Julius. RJ, this is the only time, ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear me throw this in here because it's very important. RJ is 22, 23 years old. This is the only time you hear me refer to his age. You know what I mean? When
For Randall's 30 or
which
so.
one you move. Julius is what, 27, about to be 28?
Yeah, about 28, about to be 29. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's about to be 29.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. You move Julius Randle, and you keep RJ. And another reason why, Freezy, is because I thought about this yesterday and I said it, but I just didn't get a chance to elaborate on it. RJ needs to be the second option on this team. And for that reason, you can't have Julius Randle here because that's going to cause a serious problem. You think Julius Randle will be able to handle being moved to the third option? I don't think so.
Okay.
But for the betterment of this team, I think RJ has to be the second option by Brunson and still go get my center that I'm looking for.
Right.
Because I'm telling y'all right now, I'm all in on Cat, man. I ain't going to even front. I just keep envisioning that guy on this team with Brunson and RJ.
Okay.
In particular, RJ.
All right.
Because I don't think Julius next to Cat would be a good fit, or even any center for that matter.
Right.
I don't think it's a good fit with Julius, but I can see RJ and Brunson thriving off of Julius off of Big Cat. And the reason RJ is willing to be a catch and shoot person. Now, is he great at it? We all know he ain't great at it. Some nights he looked great, some nights he looked terrible at it. But he's willing. That ain't Julius' game. Julius not willing to be a catch and shoot guy. So that's typically what you want your third option to be, and somebody who's going to slash. And Julius Randle, truth be told, don't really slash to the basket. That's what RJ does. So in my mind, for all those reasons I just did, and I know I gave you a lot to chew on, that's why I keep
that's a lot. That's like 7 points. Yeah, that's like 7 points that I want to
keep RJ and move Randle.
You mind if we do a deep dive into what you said though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me first say this. Hey, Mets. Hey, hey, is there a way that you can change your setting so that we can? Because what I want to do is like hey, hit me out on it. The reason why I'm asking is
I'm on an iPad.
No, listen. I think you look best on the screen. Like when you whatever setting you usually come in at. I think it looks like a better setting for you, and it's not less of a because we hear like certain things clicking in the background too.
Oh,
you have if you have
let
a more
switch to my lap. Let me switch to my laptop.
Okay. Hey, you need if you need for me to resend the link, just let me know.
All right, let me just hop off this.
Okay. So Ron, so let me ask you this. The Randall thing is one thing. The bringing in Cat is another thing.
Oh yeah.
The moving RJ is another thing, right? The moving Mitch is another thing. Here's ultimately before we go down this road, just want to ask you, do you have to change the coach in order to make it work first?
Freezy, I thought about this. I thought about this all day yesterday, man. You know, with all this shaking and moving going on. And I think I might have said it yesterday, man. I mean, Tibbs, we know, hey, Tibbs is a very good coach. And I'm not knocking
him on that.
I'm not going to drag him like a lot of people saying he's a terrible coach. I don't know what they've been watching. But it's apparent to me with Tibbs, it's a ceiling for Tibbs. And he's normally the guy that's gonna set your foundation. So he's not the guy that's gonna win the championship. Can he be a part of it as an assistant? Yeah, but as the head guy, no, because there's a lot of moving parts that you have to be willing. The in-game adjustments. We know Tibbs ain't the greatest at it. You know what I mean? We saw it in the last game. But I think I would definitely have to move Tibbs. And the reason why is because we're talking about innovating our offense. And the offense we running now, you said it yesterday, Freezy, is archaic.
It's basic. It's elementary.
And Tibbs is not going to change. So if you're going to change the philosophy, let's say we bring in a big cat or another center for that matter.
Right.
When has Tibbs dealt with a center that can do his thing? You know what I mean? Like you talking about having multiple people that can do things. I think Tibbs will struggle with that. I think he'll struggle with that. And I think that's what happened in Minnesota when he was there. You know what I mean? He struggled. He struggled with offensive guys.
Right.
And so far as RJ, I'll say this, Freezy. I think RJ would accept being a third option on this team more than Julius would. So if you bring in a cat or you bring in another center, RJ is going to be your third option. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Julius Randle can't be a third option. He won't allow himself to be that.
Right.
So he would have to go. He would have to go. And it's not going because he's a bad player, because Julius Randle is a very good player. But the thing we got to think about is what makes this team a better, fluid offense.
Okay.
That's what we got to start thinking that, because you're not going to go out there and find 25 and 10 on the streets. We all know that.
You are not.
We got to get out of that mindset of thinking we replacing Julius Randle with a guy that's better than Julius Randle. It's not that, because you'll get less production from that spot, but it's going to be a better offense, and that's what we got to be looking at.
Right. Hey, Mets, that background looks way better, bro.
Thanks.
That background, that might be your thing when you podcasting, when you're doing the video podcasting, bro. That might be your move right there, bro. That looks way better.
Look like Professor Mets.
Yeah, look like professional Mets up there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if that's professional, but to be
the
what Ron had to say, he makes some fair points. I mean, Randall is not the catch and shoot guy. Hell, he's not even much of a slasher. That's RJ's territory.
Right.
I mean, he's not even good on the putbacks when you think about it.
Right.
I mean, I know that's supposed to be Mitch and Herrnstein's territory, but even then, Mitch is too much of a chicken to go up for the putbacks in most cases.
Okay.
Do I say get rid of Randall? That means a cap dump, or we could do what we should have done with the 2005 draft. Cough up our 8th pick, Jamal Crawford, as well as a couple of our other picks in 2006 and 2008 to get the 3 pick from the Blazers. I say go for it.
Go for it, bro. Who are you selecting, though, at 3?
Beats me, but I could tell you who we could have gotten if we did that in 05. We would have gotten Chris Paul out of the deal.
Right.
Oof.
Yeah.
Future Hall of Fame.
And you know what? And Ron, and that's one of the moves that's kind of slept on, right? That Mets just mentioned. That was a move circulating around during the spring and summer, and the Met and not the Mets and the Knicks didn't make that move, right? To go get Chris Paul.
Hindsight 2020, boy. That was
I know, but you know what else though? The Knicks also had 3 first-round picks in '96. And the greatest draft class ever, and they didn't trade up to get Stojakovic. They didn't trade up to get Steve Nash. They didn't trade up to get Jermaine O'Neal. They didn't trade up to get Kobe. They didn't trade up to get Ray Allen. They didn't trade up to get Stephon Marbury. They didn't trade up to get Camby. They legit let the board play out, and they wound up getting Dante Jones, Walter McCarty, and John Wallace.
You hurt me. Especially the Walter McCarty thing. Oh,
Walter McCarty. Dante Jones, bro.
Dante who?
Yeah, right.
That how
right.
long he was in the Knicks jersey?
Yeah.
I barely remember Wallace being on the jersey.
I remember Wallace. John Wallace.
We shipped him
like
out with
John
Oakley
Wallace.
to Toronto in a couple of years, didn't we?
I think so.
I think we traded him to Phoenix.
I thought we shipped him out to
I
Toronto.
think he made his
along
way
with
to
Oakley.
Toronto at one point.
I think
too.
we traded him to. I thought we traded him to Phoenix in a Penny Hardaway deal to clear cap space.
I don't
Is that
think
not the deal?
so. Whilst that would have been way too late down the line. I thought we traded him to Toronto with Oakley to get Camby.
That may be true. That may be true. Nick G is in the building. Nick G, what's good, man?
How y'all
What's
doing,
up?
man?
What's up, Nick?
I'm at a coffee cafe right now, so if I'm too loud in the background, just let me know.
Oh, you good? You perfect. We can hear you.
Hey, Ron, you got some crackling in the background? Is that you?
Nah,
Something,
but
something
I'll mute.
Not me.
Okay. It was coming from somewhere. I don't know how to pinpoint it, but yeah, man. Nick G, man, what's going on?
I'm all right,
Hey,
man.
how's our
just
draft
catching
pick
everybody.
going? How's our draft pick going? You know we waiting. I know we got like 16 years to wait, but we waiting.
You told my son, man. My son might be like a volleyball player, man. I don't know what he just ain't even picking up a ball right now, man.
Okay.
He ain't even looking at a ball right now.
Okay.
He might be a nerd too. I seriously don't think he's gonna be. This kid is doing math at 2.
Okay. So he might be Sam Presti.
But yeah,
He might be the GM.
he might be. Yeah, he might be Sam Presti. What is Zach? Sorry, Brock Brock. He might be the analytics guy.
Okay.
Crunching numbers.
Okay. Yeah, man. So Ron brought up so Ron brought up some interesting points, man. Ron brought up the fact, or like Ron legit brought up 7 points, and I'll be trying to get on Ron a little bit, like Big Cleve. I'll be like, Big Cleve, man, slow down. Let's do the 1 point at a time. Like he come in with a full clip, right? Right. And I'm like, Big Cleve, slow down. I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just trying to slow it down so that we can process each individual thing. Because like for the most part, that people nowadays, no disrespect, but people have a short attention span, right? So it's like when you hit them with 7 different things, the one thing that stands out being remarkable is going to be the thing that they catch, and everything else is going to go by the wayside, right? And so when Ron said the thing about Karl Anthony Towns, while I'm not in favor of Cat, I can see why Big Cleve wants to make the decision to bring in Cat. Because if you keep Tibbs is not going to innovate. But if you put an innovative, skilled player in Tibbs's offense, he's gonna pick up the slack of where Tibbs is falling down at. Right? Like those dribble, like Nick G. Me and you saw this 3 years ago. Excuse me. On dribble handoffs, Mitchell Robinson never even looks at the rim. So his defender is never even threatened when he touches the ball. Mm-hmm. Right? His defender can basically defend 2 people at once because Mitch is not a threat. Right? And with that, so with that said, when you bring in Karl Anthony Towns for the dribble handoff, just the mere fact that it's Cat alone means his man is going to defend him up close and he can't sag towards Randall just off him being a skilled offensive player. With that said, do you move Julius Randle because the paint is being clogged up by a non-offensive player? or do you move Mitch and Tibbs and let Randall destroy power forwards on a nightly basis?
If you go by that logic, I say get rid of Mitch.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Right.
yeah, Cat's not as good of a border as Mitch is, but he's got the more offensive versatility that the center position has been lacking because Tibbs is so rigid in wanting to adapt on the offensive side. I mean,
Okay.
if you look at the Jackson era coaches, it was always the opposite. Let me rigid on offense, do little to nothing on defense. With Tibbs, there's little to no creativity on offense, but the defense is stout.
Okay.
Know what I mean?
Right. Right. I'm with you on it, but I'm merely.
Okay.
I'm merely. Nick G, let me just say this just real quick. So I'm looking.
I don't want to
from,
respond to that, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. You could do your thing. I just want to clarify this one thing. I'm merely looking at it from the perspective that Ron Cleveland put in place. You know what I'm saying? With the topics that he made, right? Like getting Cat, replacing Mitch, maybe moving Randall. You know, what are you going to do with Tibbs? You know, all these things. I mean, Ron has an excellent talking point, right? Where it's the first thing, you have to acknowledge that a change has to be made. First of all, I think that's the most important thing that Ron said. He didn't say it that way, but based off of what he mentioned, I think that's where the Ron. Am I right in that assessment? That a change has to be made at center.
You're 100% right, because we can't keep going being no handicap in every game, not getting nothing from that position. It's really pathetic that we don't have no scoring.
Okay,
we got 3 centers and not one of them got an offensive game.
Right. I think it's Tibbs. I think Tibbs is handcuffed.
Okay.
Yeah, boss.
Okay. There's a lot to deal with in that, because one, between Randall and Mitch, especially if you're talking about getting both of them out of here, you're taking away 20 rebounds a game. Close to.
Okay.
How are you going to replace that? Now, we have a luxury of guards that can rebound, right?
Right.
Let me take this off. So, when you start breaking down what we did good this year, we control possession.
Hey, Nick G, your audio coming in.
It's good. And
hey, Nick, your audio coming in kind of wonky.
Okay.
You got some headphones?
I'm going to switch to my laptop.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. But I'm going to switch to my laptop.
Okay, I'll put the link. I'm gonna put the link back in the chat. Okay.
And Freezer, I did want to clarify something. So far as RJ, I would want RJ to be the 3. I want to put him at the 2.
Okay.
But Julius would have to go, because Julius Randle ain't a 2, and he would not accept a 3 role. So between those two guys,
you talking about in terms of offensive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The hierarchy, the pecking order in the offense. I don't think Julius Randle being on this team would accept being a 3 after being the guy for so long. You know what I mean?
Right. Let me say it this way. I think upgrading the center position doesn't necessarily mean get rid of Mitch, right? What I say by upgrading the center position is have the center position do more on offense, right?
Good point.
That's what I was getting at, because we don't know what Mitch can do offensively, because we hadn't seen Mitch be allowed to grow in that role offensively.
Yeah, other than what we see when he posts those videos in the summertime.
Yeah.
And to your point on that, Freezy, that's a travesty.
Right.
Because we see him and people say, "Oh, well, he's doing that against YMCA guys or whatever." And you shoot, you can shoot. If you can shoot, you can shoot. And the fact that the guy can shoot in the summertime and we not allowing him to shoot, that's just dumb to me. It doesn't make any sense.
The way I see it, it's the coaching issue. If you want Mitch to be free, you gotta get rid of Tibbs. But the question is who you replace him with. I mean, Budenholzer's not coming here. I don't think Doc would want to come back here because we all know he's a choker anyway.
Right.
I'll take Monty Williams in a heartbeat.
I would go with Monty, but then again, there's still the issue of how he doesn't really do well when his team gets crippled with injuries.
Right. Well,
how many coaches gonna do well when their teams get crippled with injuries?
I was gonna say, and then too, Monty Williams doesn't have a innovative offense or an innovative defense that you can point to specifically that stands out from other NBA coaches. He's just a good coach, right? For instance, the difference between him and Tom Thibodeau is I can point to Tom Thibodeau inventing the ice pick and roll defense. Tom Thibodeau invented that in the early 90s, right? He is the inventor of that. Mike D'Antoni is the inventor of the 7 seconds or less offense, right? Jerry Sloan was not the inventor of the pick and roll offense, but because the pick and roll offense was a junk. It used to be a junk offense. I remember people used to laugh at it. Like, you bringing your big man all the way out there. Big man ain't supposed to be on the perimeter. Ron, you remember when Don Nelson tried to do it with Pat Ewing? And Pat was like, "Man, I'm too far away from the basket."
Yeah,
remember
that ain't Pat thing.
That's what got Nelson fired.
But it worked perfectly with Stockton and Malone, because Malone is that active type guy that's agile for his size like that.
Right, and Karl Malone was 6'9", 265
with
hops.
He wasn't 7 foot 250 with lead legs like Ewing. No offense.
Right. What's up, boss?
All right.
Y'all hear me? Yeah, we good.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Hey, your audio is way better, bro. But
it's way better,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, man. Your audio originally was. I don't want to talk about it. I ain't want to talk about you here. You here now? We good.
It's so good. It was from my phone, so it's all good. I'm on my laptop now, so
yeah.
I just hope the background isn't too much.
No, we'll work around it, man. It's Nick G. We got Nick G up here, so we'll try to work around some stuff. But the thing is, what I'm getting at with Monty Williams is, can you name specifically what Monty Williams does offensively or defensively that makes him stand out from the pack?
No.
He just knows he's a nice guy, right? A good people person, right? But when it comes to X's and O's or schemes or strategy, what does Monty Williams do that Budenholzer doesn't do?
Leave it to his assistant.
He's not an upgrade.
Yeah.
He's not an upgrade. Not Monty Williams. Monty Williams is not an upgrade over Tibbs.
Right. That's the point that I'm getting at. Why fire Tibbs to bring in Monty Williams? Because he's a nice guy?
Well, maybe the fact he's also a Knick alumnus, although briefly.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I think what he'll do is he'll draw them free agents we've been chasing for years that would be willing to come, because we already know what's the report on Tibbs, that ain't no free agent wanting to play for Tibbs. So you know, when they did that poll, and that is not a good look on a team when you to this point where you need veteran know-how players to come in, not no novice guys just getting in.
Right.
You need players now that are established in this league and known at what they do and do it very well. So if you got a coach that can't get these type players, man, you're gonna have to move them. You're gonna have to upgrade.
Right. But one of my
big arguments for years have been like, Tibbs is a good coach, and a lot of people just constantly discount him as a good coach. And to me, I think he's more or less Mark Jackson to us, where if we do replace him, we might as well replace him with a Steve Kerr level coach. What does that mean? Is like, you gotta have a wonder boy coach to come in. So like Greg Hardy, I think is his name, who went to Utah. He's a wonder boy coach.
No, and not Greg Hardy. It's Will Hardy.
Will Hardy. Sorry, my bad. Greg Hardy, Will Hardy. It's all the same person.
Yeah. Greg Hardy is the jerk football player. I don't even.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
But then
I doubt Ty Lue would be a good bet.
What's the name of that coach coached the Charlotte Hornets?
Steve
that Mike
Clifford?
fired from San Antonio.
Borrego.
Yeah, I like him.
Borrego?
I like him.
He is a good coach, but he is an asshole that people don't get along with.
Which is why they brought Steve Clifford back.
Right. Him, Tibbs, and Clifford are the same guy.
Basically, a bunch of trio of jackasses with no rhyme or reason for free agents.
Toronto's last coach is a good coach to replace Tibbs, but you're still talking about someone that's going to overwork guys too, because he does overwork guys, but he is a wonder boy coach when it comes to drawing up plays and also coming up with offenses that fit, because he's not going to change. Like, our defense is good. Even though people discounted the defense, we held Miami under their averages, which is what a defense is supposed to do. It worked. It's just we couldn't keep up scoring.
The offense.
Right,
it's
the offense.
Not the defense at all. It's the offense is the problem.
But
the offense still works for us. Go ahead, I'm listening.
But the thing I wanted to do was stay on track, because Ron made a thing out, and I just want to stay on the topic that Ron, you see how easy it is to get away from the points that you made? That's why I be trying to show
Ron.
You know what I'm saying? Because Ron mentioned the thing about the center position and the upgrades. Like, how do you upgrade the center position? Do you turn Mitch into a more balanced player, right? Do you trade for Karl Anthony Towns? Do you get rid of the coach, right? Do you also get rid of Julius Randle, right? And the point that I was getting at in all of that, Ron, is if you get rid of the coach and you bring in you bring in a Nick Nurse, right? That draws up plays during games, that would change an offensive set during games, right? Do you then get rid of Mitch and Randle, knowing that Randle would get the offensive freedom that Pascal Siakam gets in Toronto? So now you open up Randle's game. And in my mind, Randle is 3 times more skilled than Siakam. Now, is he as athletic as Siakam? No. But in terms of skill-wise, I think Randle has a better handle. I think Randle is a better passer. I think Randle can do a lot of things better than Pascal Siakam. And if you bring in Nick Nurse to go with Randle, I think you unlock Randle, right? And truth be told, if you bring in Nick Nurse, when that center runs from baseline to base, everybody in here is familiar with a dude named Chris Boucher, right? The 6'9" center from Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Mitch running baseline to baseline in that Toronto offense, or imagine Nick Nurse coming here and making Mitch run baseline to baseline, where he's always a lob threat, and dare I say it, 3-point threat. Now, we know Mitch can't shoot, right? We know Mitch can't shoot in the Knicks offense. But what if he starts to get those looks in a Nick Nurse offense? Now, Ron, I already know what the answer is going to be. Mitch ain't no 3-point shooter. He'll never be, because you can just look at his free throws, right?
True.
But I'm asking Ron Cleveland, Ron, imagine you sitting in your living room on a random Tuesday night, and the Knicks are playing a random team like I don't know, just a Charlotte Hornets, and you see Mitchell Robinson take a 3 from the corner. What would you say?
I might cry. I might cry tears of joy.
Right.
Because
Really,
even
bro?
if he missed, you gonna make the defensive man have to honor that.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're gonna have
Really?
to honor that.
Yes.
Really? Yeah. Ain't a day in hell for me. I'll tell you that. Do not make Mitch shoot. Okay. This is the one thing that I don't like when we dumb down the offense. Our personnel is what our personnel is, and Tibbs did adapt a lot of things for our personnel. Tibbs adapted an offense that maximizes on rebounding because we have a bunch of guys that can't shoot, and if you don't crash the ball, if you're not getting playing time, see Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
If you start doing the math, we had a bunch of guys that shot like mid to sub 30% from three. We put up average amount of threes as everyone else in the league, but made the least. We had low turnovers because we passed the ball least. That's what old school coaches like. They like to control the possession. So we control the possession by low turnovers, which is a good thing. We control the possession by actually rebounding the ball, and our second chance points are about, I think it's 1 or 2 in the league. Memphis and the Knicks are the only two teams that made it to the second round ever, shooting like in the 20s from three in the modern era. Like we did something good, and it's because of our personnel. I'm just saying is like Cat rebounds, but most of his rebounds are defensive rebounds. He doesn't scrap on the offensive board, he shoots a lot of threes. He's not gonna be there for the rebounds, like your one. So
Randall
is gonna rebound.
I was gonna say Randall's rebounds, like 90% of them are defensive rebounds. Like he's not an offensive board guy, which is why Mitch averages 4 to 5 offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
and but that's not that. I don't know if that's what Nick G was saying. I think
I get what Nick G is
saying. The difference between rebounding between Mitch and Cat.
But there's like a roster personnel issue, and like there's a reason why we are the only 2 teams to get that far, and then there's a reason why we didn't get any further.
Well,
like over the course of NBA history, like controlling possessions ultimately matter, right? Attacking the offensive glass definitely matters, but when you go against better competition with more elite coaching, they can scheme out those advantages. Then you need to be able to pivot into a game where you can outscore the other team or execute better even with turnovers. Like the games that we won against the Heat, we had a ton of turnovers, but we shot well. That's why we won. Not to conjure up the Warriors repeatedly, but they're always amongst the top of the league in turnovers. But they're always winning because they execute or they put the ball in the hole more often than other teams. So we can say these things in terms of like in the regular season, it matters the most, controlling the ball. But when you're honed in on and focused on, and you're not maximizing your offensive ceiling, and you're just trying to live within the margins of just those 2 things, you can scheme offensive rebounding out of the way. You can scheme low passing and you can scheme that out of the way where teams, we're going to try to make sure Brunson has the ball 100% of the time. Well, in the regular season, teams are not trapping Brunson a billion times in a row like they did in the playoffs.
Hey, I get it. I just wanted to stay on this topic with Ron, though.
Dre, I want to.
I wanted to say something.
I think we.
My fault for distracting and all. My bad.
It's fine.
Hey, so the thing I wanted to talk about, the thing I think Ron brought up is an excellent thing in that. If you look through the prism of a Knicks fans don't care about none of that stuff that y'all just mentioned. To be honest with you,
right?
You know what I'm saying? The Knicks fans ultimately care about winning and losing more. Now, for nerds like myself, I love that conversation that y'all having. But to Ron's point though is how do you fix the offense and the pivot issue?
Can I speak on that?
Yeah, come on, bro.
I don't want to cut you off, but good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
But, Ron,
peace.
I just want to say, I don't feel that you should fire Tibbs because it's weird how we give players passes by saying, they weren't in the right system, they weren't used correctly.
Hey, but hey, hold on. So BT, the center position.
Yeah.
How's that relate to the center position?
No, that's what I was going to get to. I was going to say we
Okay.
can still use Mitchell. I don't want to get rid of Mitchell. I know everyone's saying he wants out or he's gone, but I still say use Mitchell or Hartenstein because of the fact is those guys have already proven something to us. So for me, it's like the guys we have are already proven. We might as well just let them run it out, figure out their inconsistencies because everyone says, oh, this is this person's fault or that person's fault. Let the centers rock. Let them learn from their inconsistencies and make adjustments. Let's hold them responsible. By cutting the bait now, we're not holding anyone responsible. We're just acting irrational. So if we sit down, analyze, let them make their corrections in the center position, either starting Hartenstein over Mitchell or keeping Mitchell, I still say we keep Mitchell. It'll help us out because they already put in that work. They already know the system.
All right.
I respectfully disagree with that statement.
I knew that was coming.
We have seen, how long has Tibbs had Mitchell Robinson?
It's been 3 years, bro. It's been 3
years.
solid years.
3 years.
What have we seen from Tibbs that tell you that Mitchell Robinson gonna play any different under Tibbs?
Nothing.
He's not. And we going to battle.
But why does he have to play any different though?
Knowing that you got a handicap. Knowing that you got a handicap that teams don't have to worry about it. And I'm gonna tell you, one can argue the reason why we got past that first round is because we played a mirror image of a center in Jared Allen. Had we played against a team that had somebody that could score like Bam, that could cause problems, we might have went home in the first round.
I
probability.
Heard of that, especially
I can't say that because, like I said, Robinson. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead, say your point, BT.
Okay. No. I was just gonna say you have a point there, but it's 3 years. It's funny how everybody wants to change everything every 2-3 years, and then expect these beautiful results. Once you change it, it's like you're supposed to give it time. Robinson this time around has been playing a lot better. He has shown us a lot better defense, rebounding, and he feeds off of Hartenstein. When Hartenstein comes in and starts doing good, he comes off the bench and starts feeding off of that energy. So, like I said, the inconsistencies, it's a growing pain. 3 years, you expect Mitchell Robinson to be the next DeAndre Jordan. I mean, not DeAndre Jordan, bad choice. But like the next Ewing, it's not gonna happen. Players got to develop. Look how long it took Kobe to develop.
That ain't what I'm expecting. I'm expecting some semblance of an offense. When you get a basketball, and you don't even look at getting a shot off. How many shots Mitchell Robinson took this whole season? Playoff included.
Okay.
How many shots he took when he wasn't under the basket?
0.
I can't call you that off the top of my head. What I am gonna say is this. We don't even run a pick and roll with Mitchell Robinson.
No. We do run pick and roll, but Mitch
it's not effective.
I was gonna talk about that. But hold on, let me say that real quick. You said pick and roll. We do pick and rolls because if you look, he's better in that actual transition. When R.J. Barrett has the ball and he crosses over and the two defenders go to the side, he's right there wide open. We need to use him more like an old school style. He showed us that this season, especially when he grabbed those boards. He can grab rebounds. He can do it. We just got to work on the inconsistency.
I'm glad you said what you said. You said old school style.
Third year, hold on real quick.
Go ahead.
The third year, he's just shown us how really to me, I thought Mitchell did better this year than he did the first 2 years. Because I'm like, wow, he's boxing out. He's rebounding. He's hungry. So let's feed off of that. So for me, it's like you expect the player to change in a year, 1 or 2. Not everyone's a KD. Not everyone. Even Kobe, like I said, 3 years before he started to actually show. Why? Because he got benched. But he learned a lot. That's what I'm telling you.
BT, I would be with you. You talking about Mitch as if he a young player, bro. Next season is Mitchell Robinson's 6th season in the NBA.
6?
I know. I know. But what I'm trying to say is the system and everything that's going on, I think Mitchell can thrive in it.
I was going to say Mitch is a bad player. I would love to keep Mitch, but I want to upgrade at center position. And
okay,
I don't want Mitch to be starting. I'm telling you right now, I don't want him to start. I need me a modern day basketball. Because you said it best yourself just now.
Wait a minute, let him finish, bro. Let him finish.
You said it just yourself just now about ancient style, something to that effect of what you were saying, like old school. You said old school. We ain't in old school no more. That's the problem. We in a modern style of basketball, and we still trying to do things the old way. Freezer said it the other day. We took 70-something shots in a
71
closeout game.
shots. 71 shots in a
You know what I
closeout
mean?
game.
Come on, man. What?
That's
We ain't
trash.
beating nobody playing like that. We ain't
Right, that's
beating nobody. So you
trash.
deserve to lose. And this style of offense that we've seen, and we talked about it ad nauseum, that we play in this isocentric basketball game, and it's 63, 67% of the time we in ISO. And that came back to bite us in that last play against Miami. Everybody was sitting around watching Brunson go ISO. Nobody moving. So that in lies on your coach. How long we had Tibbs, and Tibbs been doing the same thing. And I'm not crazy. I'm not running the same thing and expecting a different outcome, because that's delusional.
Right.
Can I answer
Insanity.
to Ron's point? Like,
Nah, go ahead.
like
Go ahead.
Mitch is definitely flawed, but in today's NBA, there's a place for a Clint Capella. There's a place for an Oniko Okongwu. There's a place for a Steven Adams. There's a place for a Robert Williams. And we're talking about teams that have made considerable runs in the playoffs, won rounds, won multiple rounds, with these guys being key cogs. It's ultimately how you use these players. And the way we utilize Mitch, we don't use his his vertical spacing at all.
We do not.
Don't. And if we had a modern offense, we wouldn't be complaining about Mitch the way we do. But because we run our offense this particular way, you need with Tibbs in this offense, you need 2 to 3 elite guys that can police themselves on the court and run an offense independent of whatever Tibbs is throwing out there on his board that he's writing up on his markers. You need guys that can just be able to create mismatches and advantages on their own. Two to three of them at a high level, especially in the playoffs, because Tibbs is not going to scheme guys open. Tibbs is not going to scheme guys to get momentum. Tibbs is not going to scheme guys to.
I got to push back.
Hold on. Hold on.
All right.
Relax.
I'm gonna let
Edwin.
let
Okay, all right. Relax. Edwin, thank you for the generation. Thank you for the generous contribution. Thank you for the generous contribution. Mitch is flawed offensively, but he wasn't the issue mainly. Robinson or his offensive coordinator needs switch up the offense, and so what I'm gonna say to that is, we're not saying Mitch is the main issue. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we're saying. We're saying the lack of a offensive threat at the 5 is the main issue. That's what we're trying to keep. That's why I'm trying to keep the conversation to what Ron said. I don't want to blame everything in Nick's universe on a thing. I just want to speak to and exhaust this specific topic so that we can move on to these other areas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Don't necessarily want to do, you know what I'm saying? Don't necessarily want to talk about Nick Nurse's resume or talk about, you know what I'm saying, Monty Williams' resume when the topic is Mitchell Robinson's offense or offense, the Knicks offense at the center position. So if you guys can, man, you know what I'm saying? This is the thing that we're trying to parse participles on. We're trying to drill down on this because Ron made a point, and I think it's one of these things, as usual in Nick's universe, that it's a glaring thing, but our ill will against other stuff has a C, this thing that Ron's talking about, but we still want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, get Randall out of here. You know what I'm saying? So let me just do this to respect to Ron's point again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When teams have to defend the Knicks 3-on-5, 5 defenders defending 3 offensive players, it's always going to lead to a bad offense. And we can't just say the Knicks can't shoot when all the best players are getting double teamed. Think about Randall getting double teamed, right? Randall getting double teamed, Brunson getting double teamed. And no third player on the floor can make a defense pay, especially at the rim. Like when we run the pick and roll, a lot, right? But we never hit the roll man, right? We never hit the roll man. We never hit the. I asked the other day, when's the last time you seen Julius Randle catch a lob in the half court?
Never.
Never.
In a minute.
When's the last time you seen a guard drive baseline and dunk? Never.
No, well,
When the
actually,
last time you
Brunson
seen a
did
pick
it.
and pop?
Brunson did it when he got the steal in the playoffs.
When the last
No,
time
he
you seen a
said
pick and pop?
baseline, like in the
Baseline?
half court
All
offense.
right, you got that
We
one.
don't
You got that one.
we don't do no back. We don't do no actions where we do back doors or anything.
No,
That's
yeah,
not-
Can
no
I ask
back
you
door
a question?
actions. Okay.
Just a simple rebuttal question. During the regular season, how many times have we seen RJ with a simple pass go 1-on-3 and didn't make the pass to Obi Toppin in the corner, to Emmanuel quickly on the wing? We act like, okay, we want to run a fancy offense and all this stuff, but at the same time, you got to have players that are willing to make the pass when it's available. How is Tibbs expected to add an offense to a team and to players that don't want to make simple passes? You don't make the offense more complex for players that don't do the simple things. That mathematically does not make sense. RJ Barrett made good passes during the playoffs, but all freaking season long, he did not make the simple pass. Ron Cleveland been calling it out. He had an argument with some guy when RJ was 6 for 25. Why the hell are you taking 25 shots, but only hitting 6, and you keep on shooting? He makes the dumbest plays, and then we keep on giving him excuses and saying, no, it's the offense. It ain't always the goddamn offense. Sometimes it's the goddamn
Hey,
play.
Nick G, easy,
Sorry,
relax,
sorry.
bro.
I'm
You trying to
sorry.
get YouTube to pull us down? You know
I'm
YouTube
sorry, but
tripping
it's
already?
it's so simple. It's so
Yeah,
simple.
Let me
That's
know.
already
it's
tripping.
easy.
That's usually.
Can I say something?
I'm the one that usually gets called out on that.
Nah, I've been getting called out for 3 years, man. You just come along with it. I've been
Ron,
getting called out for 3 years. But it's so simple. Like, we can't keep on saying, hey, Mitch, do something on offense when he be wide open. He don't even drive to the basket sometimes. What do you want? And then verticality, he doesn't jump as high as he used to.
He doesn't need to.
Injured.
He's 7'1".
Injured so many times he doesn't jump like he used to.
He's
So, Nick,
7'1". You don't need to jump that high.
He's 7'1", bro.
They was
Nick,
6'11".
you making a case for why a change need to happen?
Who's 6'11"?
Hey,
Yeah.
Ron, can I ask you a
No,
question?
Mitch is 7'1".
Yeah, but the change that you're talking about is adding more shooters and replacing the ones we have, not so much the coach.
That's what. See, you went right into my question that I was gonna ask Ron. Who are we gonna change within our system that we can get Mitchell for the price that we can get the productivity? We can't without changing more than just 1 or 2 players. And with that big change, how is the chemistry gonna work? That's why I'm telling you. I
It's
think we
always a
honestly
trade-off.
need to. I agree with you because we honestly need to work on our offensive system because some of these shots we're taking, you have Randall pulling up for a 3 in the first quarter 3-4 times. Why is he at the 3-point line waiting 10 seconds and then just doing
Because
a bunch of
he
fakes and
is
pulling up?
because he's the best first quarter 3-point shooter in the NBA. That's why.
He was.
But what I'm saying
he
is
carried us
it's
in the
better.
first quarter.
Randall
what I'm trying to say
is a great 3-point shooter when he has his legs, so he shoots the
Exactly.
ball early.
Yes. But
And
what I'm
then
trying to say
space
is
the
this. What I'm trying to say is this: it's better shot selection. For example, like the man said, instead of taking 26 shots or 20 plus shots and only making 6, why not be more conservative? Drive to the basket, come out with the kick out play, work on your passing. There's other things the players we have are limited to, but we're expecting them to be more productive, but we're blaming it on the coach. Like I said, Mitchell has shown us that he can do something. We need to just pull out of that even more. Because
So let me-
offensively,
Hey,
with the right reads, with the right cuts, and the right passes, offensively, I think.
wait. So what are the right reads and the right cuts?
For example, making the right passes or using more
No.
pick and roll.
No. Just tell us what.
Break it down.
Tell us,
What is
yeah, break that down. Tell
Okay.
us.
Like the gentleman said earlier, when we have R.J. Barrett on the court and let's say Mitchell's there, and he comes in and he gets by the first defender and they come over to trap him, he needs to learn how to make the proper pass to Mitchell to where Mitchell can get the offensive
So
opportunity.
what's the proper pass?
The proper pass would be to try to do a bounce pass to him between the defenders or try to go over top and give him the lob. That's what I'm talking about. Those look over the shoulder, look pass that Mark Jackson was good at. That's what some of our guys need to learn how to do. The simple using your shoulder to hide the ball and actually throw the proper passes. Take time to learn to actually do the proper bounce, cut passes. A lot of players don't even know how to do a bounce pass or a straight chest pass.
Right.
These
So
days,
here's my
relax.
question. Here's my question to that. Right. because I'm going to take all the stuff that you said and the things that you said about Tibbs, right? If Tibbs is smart enough to understand that that guy can't do it, then why are we trying to make that guy do it?
Because at the end of the day, you get paid to play, and on top of that, there are things
I mean, yeah,
in the
but
game.
no,
I was gonna say,
And the coaches get paid to coach too.
yeah, and
yeah,
the
that's
other
what I was
team
gonna
gets
say.
paid to play defense.
No, but what I was gonna say was you have to allow this. You have to work within the system because you can't just go to a team and say I'm gonna do what I want to do and expect it to work. That doesn't work that way. Things have to develop. Yes, Robinson, it's been 3 years, but like I said, not everyone's a KD type of player.
It's been
or
5
LeBron
years.
James.
It's been 5 years for Robinson,
years,
but
yeah.
3 years with Tibbs.
Yeah, 3 years. Sorry about
And
that.
he's been the same player through multiple coaches.
And I gotta say this: we're not privy to practice. Guess what?
Exactly.
Guess who's privy to practice? Tibbs is.
Yeah.
So if Mitchell Robinson is not shooting in game, evidently Tibbs seeing something in practice. So that's why I keep saying that position has to be elevated. We have to get better. Ain't no way around it. And when this offense, we talk about offense, the coach responsible for your offense.
Yes.
He's the decision maker on what the team run. So if you got a team that's
Exactly,
running ISO, and your coach want the team to do ball movement, if they ain't doing ball movement, so that falls in your coach's lap. He don't have no control. Ultimately, it comes back to your coach.
And Ryan, the other thing too, I think as a fan base, the thing that we don't understand too, as Knicks fans, is this roster is extremely young and low IQ. Right. Outside,
everything you just said.
Don't let Derrick Rose's age and Evan Fournier's age skew how young this team is. Right. I'm not saying these kids are dummies. What I'm saying is they are inexperienced. Right? These kids are inexperienced is what I'm getting at. And they have to learn how to do certain things. Plus, you couple that with Tom Thibodeau wanting to run a certain prototype of player. Like we feel like we need athletes. Tom Thibodeau feel like he need fire hydrants. Everybody Tom Thibodeau put on the floor has got the Uncle Freezy build to him. Everybody light skinned and stocky. You know what I'm saying? Just about. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Everybody's stocky, right? Jalen Brunson, 6'1", 200. Quentin Grimes, 6'4", 213. RJ Barrett, 6'6", 214. Julius Randle, 6'8", 250. You know what I'm saying?
Deuce.
Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, Daquan Jeffries, Trevor Keels. So we want a certain thing, but Tibbs's prototype suggests that he needs something else. And also just hold on.
Okay.
We got plenty of time, bro. We ain't in a rush. We got plenty of time. The other thing too about Mitchell Robinson compared to Joker and to say Embiid and to Bam, while he don't have their skill set offensively, those other three centers, you can at least put them at the free throw line extended, and that gives, like, you know how we complain about RJ going to the paint like a bowling ball against bowling pins. When you have a center that's a threat to either shoot a jump shot or be a ball handler, not just dribbler, because ball handler means handling the ball, passing it, catching it, do whatever, right? Ball handler means you can do all these things, right? When you got a ball handler there that can catch it and do something with it, that means his man doesn't sag into the paint. Now when RJ goes to the paint, maybe it's one-on-one, maybe it's one-on-two, but it's definitely not one-on-three, and it's definitely not one-on-4 with a trail man. The thing that kills the Knicks offense in my mind is RJ Barrett's shot getting blocked, right? RJ Barrett's shot getting blocked at the rim is not just a byproduct of RJ Barrett not being able to jump, while it's partially that. The other part is teams peel their man off of Mitch and just follow RJ to the basket and just get on RJ hip and swat his shot. You know why? Because Mitchell Robinson is not a threat offensively.
Can I say
It's
something?
it's all of these things we have to take into account.
No,
Hold on.
facts. I agree,
wanna-
but what I wanted to ask, I'm sorry, I just wanted to rebuttal real quick. Anybody that we replace Mitchell with, we're gonna have to buy, like we're gonna have to give up a lot for that individual because think of how our salary cap is and everything we have. So now I would like to ask you, Ron, and then I like to rebuttal it as well.
Hey,
Who
hold
would you
on,
like to replace him?
Hey, hold on, boss. I'm the moderator, bro. I keep trying
No,
to
my
keep y'all
fault,
on
my
the
fault.
same
No,
point.
I apologize.
You know
I
what I'm
apologize.
saying? Just say what you got to say, man, so that we
No,
can keep the
because I just
conversation
wanted to
in
ask. I wanted to ask him who would he replace Mitchell with because like I said I jumped in a little bit too late and I wanted to hear what he said with Mitchell's replacement. That was a question. Sorry.
I'm gonna tell you, I got 2 sentences for him, Freezy. I got 2. First one, the top of my list is Big Cat.
Okay.
I'm going Big
I know
Cat.
that one. Okay.
And to answer that point of what you're saying, the New York Knicks were 2 games away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're no longer happy with just getting into the playoffs. And not getting to the Eastern Conference Finals next year is going to be a failure. So now all them pieces that you got sitting in the cupboard, you gotta cash in now. You can't sit on them because who? Because Jalen Brunson has elevated our timeline. Right now, all headlines should read, "We have to get Jalen Brunson help." And I ain't talking about going bargain basement shopping like we have since Leon Rose has been here. Now is the time you got to strike. And so I'm modernizing that center position. I'm sorry. I love Mitchell Robinson, and I really do. But he's got to come off the bench. If he ain't willing to come off the bench, he's up out of here.
Ron, what if you bring in a coach? What if you bring in a coach that can highlight what Mitchell Robinson can do offensively?
Freezy, I'm still scared, Freezy.
For instance, I'm just gonna throw this out. For instance, you bring in Monty Williams, and he starts to use Mitchell Robinson like he used DeAndre Ayton. He implements his offense. Now I know the Knicks don't have Chris Paul, right? I know the Knicks don't have Chris Paul. There's only 2 Chris Pauls in 3 Chris Paul type players in the NBA right now: Halliburton, Trae Young, and Chris Paul. Nobody else can make these extra level passes. Nobody. I don't care what point. And no Steph Curry can't do it. No Damian Lillard can't do it. None of these other, but no LaMelo can't do it. Right? Only a certain level of point guard can pass guys open in the half court consistently and hit guys in their shooting pockets. Maybe Lonzo can do it when he's engaged.
And maybe Trae Young.
And when Lonzo
I mentioned Trae Young.
Yeah.
And when Lonzo was healthy.
Yeah. So I get that part, right? But the thing is if you consider like changing the offensive approach, you don't know what Mitchell Robinson is because Fizdale was a joke. Plus Mitch wasn't ready, right?
And see, Freezy, that's why you did
and Mike Miller was a joke. Plus Mitch wasn't ready, right?
Yeah.
But if you bring in a guy, Ron, respectfully, if you bring in a guy that teaches Mitch simple stuff, Mitch on the roll, you got to turn your chest, present a target to the passer so that he'll have somewhere to get the ball to. And if you can't catch a ball that's thrown in your chest, you're not a professional athlete. I don't care what sport it is.
You're right about that.
You know what I'm saying? And two, right? Once Mitch rolls to the basket, because think about this. How many times have you seen Mitchell Robinson roll to the basket and him not even put his eyes on Jalen Brunson?
So
He's not even looking for the ball.
100% of the time.
Majority of the time, yes.
Right, he's not even looking for the ball. And here's the other thing, just real quick. I just want to throw this in here because what it is, I think is we're being quick to just take in all the stuff that we saw this year without the possibility of what things can be with a little nurturing and teaching, right? Like you can teach people how to do stuff. Now, will they get it in one day? No, but can you open up their mind to training for this stuff in the off season so that when they come back to training camp, they can at least be on the path to it. I'm gonna tell you this: Jericho Sims, in my opinion, is our best role man.
Absolutely.
Yes, I was
Absolutely agree.
Because he is physical enough to break through the gate that the guard set up and roll to the basket and jump to the ceiling, and he is looking for you to throw the lob, right?
My question,
Just
But you
real
know-
quick, let me finish this last part. So if you bring in Nick Nurse, and this is where I'm really gonna throw, or this is really where I'm gonna throw a Snicker ball in the punch bowl, right?
huh?
Yes, I could have said the other thing. I don't want to say.
I
the
know
other
you.
thing.
I know what you mean.
So
It lost me because that sounded good.
yeah. So here's the thing with Nick Nurse. I think Obi plays the 5, and now you got and some. And so now you have Obi and a Chris Boucher because Obi is bigger than Chris Boucher, and Obi shoots the 3, shot the 3 in that offense, and I mean Chris Boucher shot the 3 in that offense, and Chris Boucher was a roll man. So you could never come out on a perimeter and smother a diminutive guard in Fred VanVleet. We play teams and they trap Jalen Brunson like it's nothing. You play Toronto, you can't trap Fred VanVleet. Is it because Fred VanVleet is better than Jalen Brunson? No. It's because other people on the floor are offensive threats.
Right.
Exactly. Modern day basketball.
It's because Van Fleet has better pieces around him to compensate for when he does get trapped.
And Freezer, you hit the nail on the head because you made a point in that statement when you said, now bringing in somebody else that can teach, will that person be able to do it? See that's the point where I'm at now. And looking at this team, how we accelerated, I can't sit around and hope that these players with a different coach, pick up whatever the new coach is bringing in. I need some bona fide guys that I know can do it. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm thinking at. And I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that's where the front office is at now because they've seen how close we were. It's no longer the time of sitting and waiting. You know what I mean? Brunson changed the timeline for everybody on this team, man. These players that we waiting and hoping that they develop, Brunson has changed that timeline. A lot of these players is gonna be gone this summer, man. A lot of them gonna be gone because they ain't ready.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
I want to chime in right quick.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Just real quick, and I'm gonna try to make this as fast as 3 things. First of all, the archetype that Freezy was talking about, there's a reason for the archetype. Tibbs is a defensive coach. He liked McBride, quickly, etc., etc., etc. Those archetype players, because they're quick and they recover quickly.
Right.
One thing that is an absolute, there are a lot of guards in this league that could blow by a lot of players. They recover quickly and switch, and they're high IQ on defense. And Tibbs has raised the IQ on everyone on this team defensively.
Absolutely agree.
Mitch, the way he defends, meets people at the peak. Even Hartenstein, he changed the way he defended and became a much better defender under Thibodeau. And there's some things that, just like if you want to see it, to me, I think our coach right now is basically college years for some of these players. 4 years with them will just help them graduate defensively. Offensively, they did try to develop guys. For instance, Hartenstein at the beginning of the season did take threes just like Taj Gibson took threes last year. He just was not good at it. And they just scrapped it and went to what worked. If it doesn't work, Tibbs is not going to continuously sacrifice wins and games just to allow you to develop something that you could work on your own with. Okay. He will never do that because the number one thing he wants to do is to win and get to a championship, just like you're saying, Ron. But my third point is going to be, we do know what the timeline and what this front office is looking at when it comes to this team. James Dolan already gave that away. Sometime when he did that interview, he said that this season is basically a bye. Next season, they have to make moves. And from there, he wants to see wins. And that's what he's looking at. James Dolan is not looking at this summer. I know what we think and what we're looking at because in some ways, this playoffs is somewhat like smoke and mirrors. They accomplished a lot, they did a lot, but they don't have to rush or make a bad move. We do not need to repeat what we did last year. All we have to do is make moves on the margins and make smart moves. It sounds good to say, "Hey, let's upgrade
Nah, Nick
everything."
G, Nick G, you wrong, bro.
Okay, I mean,
you
that's
and,
what
and,
Joe
and,
said.
and this is why you're wrong.
Okay,
You can't just shop when you want. You got to shop when the store's open.
of course, I'm not saying you
Right.
don't, but I'm saying
And
is
so
the
this
onus-
summer here, you're in a spot where a lot of teams are going to be making moves, right?
But
And
you can't
if you don't make moves in a spending season, and you wait to try to, so what I hear from you and from others is that the Knicks are going to make a market for themselves in 2024. And that's
not what I'm saying.
ridiculous.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Right.
I'm
Or
not
the
saying
Knicks are
that.
gonna make a market in 2025.
No, that's not
The
what I'm
Knicks are
saying.
not
All
gonna,
I'm saying
because
is
think about, are you going after Kawhi Leonard in 2 years? You going after a 36-year-old Kawhi Leonard?
No.
Are you going after a 36-year-old Paul George?
No.
maybe actually.
No. And the point is you have to spend. That's why people spend money on Black Friday, bro. You got to spend money when it's in a spending season. You just can't throw your money on the table and think your money is going to operate different because it's you.
All right,
especially when you got 3 centers right now that are modern type centers that are looking. 2 of them, one of them asking to be out of there, the other one looking like he might be out of the way because they brought in Rudy Gobert, and then you got the situation with Philly with Doc getting fired. Your boy might not want to sit around. He done 7 years in and try to go through another rebuild with a different coach. These are the things that these front offices looking at, and they're saying, "Hey, we that close to." I guarantee you, all 3 of them guys' name I call right then, either 3 of them guys on this roster in that second round, we make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
Either 3 of them.
Rob, I think if RJ makes 4 shots more than makes 2 threes, how about that? We win the last game.
I give you that too. Or Julius Randle showed up in the last game.
Thank you. I think we need to upgrade our wing more than our center.
Our offense, man. Everybody knows it's so ISO heavy, man. 67% of the time that we running that. You're not winning. You ain't winning no championship with that kind of offense, and that's what we run.
Okay, let me give you one more thing, Ron. One thing that you look at with our offense, yes, it's ISO heavy, but we have the least amount of turnovers and all that. I already stated that, right? But when you look at Toronto, right, Nick Nurse could rely on OG Anunoby to hit close to 40% of his shots. He is a 30% free 3-point shooter, career-wise. Fred VanVleet somewhere around the same. Pascal Siakam can hit threes. Can you depend on RJ to hit threes? Can you depend on Julius Randle to hit threes? You can't. And that's one of the things that we all know, that people are backing away, at least in this Miami series that we just watched. People were 4 feet away from RJ Barrett, 4 feet away from Julius Randle, and allowing to shoot threes, and then packing the paint and taking away the pass that could come to Mitchell Robinson. It's easy to double Mitchell Robinson and to take away passes from him because you. And the other thing that's happening,
right?
Too,
We're not gonna double Mitch. Nobody's doubling Mitch.
Well, it's not doubling Mitch, but when you pack the paint and look for the rebound, guess what happens? Immediately, by packing the paint, you're taking away the drive from Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and also Jalen Brunson, and also taking away the rebound from Mitch. So just in one thing that you do by packing the paint, you're taking away 4 players from being effective on the court, except Grimes.
Can I say
But you
something?
can manufacture spacing by having off-ball movement and man movement, which we don't do.
That's what I've been trying to. That's what I've been trying to say.
Dies though in the playoffs.
No, it doesn't. It does not. It does not die. Isolation basketball dies when you don't have generational talents isolating all the time.
Ask the Warriors why it died then.
What do you mean?
Ask the Warriors. The what do you
They
call it?
pivoted away from it and they let a generational talent isolate with high pick and roll. Do we have a generational talent on the Knicks?
Right.
Yes or no?
The greatest shooter of all time. I mean, basically they said, hey man, Jordan Poole is off. So instead of trying to force the ball to Jordan Poole, how about we just let Steph Curry create our offense for us? Is that a bad option? That's like saying Yo, the Miami Dolphins running game is off. Hey, I'm just gonna let Dan Marino throw it every down. Now I know a lot of people don't know about the Dolphins running game or don't know about Dan Marino, but I like that scenario. If the Dolphins running game ain't going, if Sammy Smith and them can't get 2 yards of carry, I'm putting the ball in Dan Marino hands. That's all I'm saying.
I'll say to this point, like, not like the reason we lost was not the defense, it was really the offense. We struggled to generate decent looks
Absolutely.
consistently.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about like the turnover battle and all these things, and the rebounding battle, that was supposed to be our strengths coming into the series. Miami Heat beat us in both of those things. So when you say like, yeah, we would need better shooting, RJ practically shot 40% from three that series.
Yeah.
And it still didn't matter.
He was 10% in the last game. 10%.
And all the games before, we wouldn't even make it to game 6 if he didn't perform at those levels. You could throw game 6 in his face for sure. We wanted to perform.
No,
right?
I get that, but if
we don't get to that point if he
20%,
wasn't
we
shooting
win.
well. Yeah, I'm saying we don't get to that point if he's not shooting well long before that.
And Nick G, to your point, defense ain't the problem. Everybody knows if you
Not the problem.
defense ain't the problem. So imagine with an offense and an offensive minded big in that middle can do for you. Because like I said, man, we all know our centers ain't. You don't throw up the ball to our centers and they get their own shots like that.
Well, the reason why the
thing is
defense,
Hartenstein with that little floater.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? But if they ain't catching something coming off the rim or a lob being thrown to them, it ain't
but
happening.
I'd say this: the reason why the defense ain't a problem is because Mitch is there. that's ultimately
That's facts.
And the
Yeah.
way and the guard play.
Josh Hart and Grimes.
Josh
Yeah,
Hart
yeah,
and
yeah.
Grimes and quickly.
yeah.
And you know what? We got to give RJ props too. He did defend better.
Oh, he showed up in the playoffs.
He showed up in the playoffs. He showed up.
That's why to answer your question, Freezy, 100%. I'm moving off of Julius Randle. I'm keeping RJ.
Okay.
All
right.
My big
just,
thing was.
just,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
just real quick. So I think y'all are getting caught up in the moment about the defense. Because during the season, I even heard myself, I heard Ron Cleveland say the defense has been trash.
Yeah, our defense was trash.
Yeah, right. And not for the whole season. Not for the whole season. I'm talking about stretches during the season.
Oh, yeah, we were trash.
We were absolutely trash during the season. So how we looked against a team that can't generate offense is not indicative of who we are as a team.
That's a good point.
Don't let a team that can't score make you think this defense is good.
Slow
Slow down.
Slow
Because I heard people on this panel say defense wasn't the problem. Relax.
Yeah, Freezy, I agree because
But it
the
is
main issue,
because we shut out Cleveland.
the main issue
know
with
what
this
I mean?
team, like there's not very many good defenses that don't generate turnovers. Like we're like
We
at the
don't-
bottom of the league in deflections.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because. Well, here's the issue with that.
That's
The main problem with the tip setup is.
But that's players. My bad, Matthew, but that's players too because we don't have rangy, athletic guys that can jump in passing lanes or
I was
cause
saying-
disruptions like the.
Hey, hold on, y'all. Let go ahead, man.
Hold on, I was gonna say like look at Miami's roster.
Matt,
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
No,
Oh, I thought you were talking. I'm my
I
bad.
was
Okay.
getting at that. Yes, we don't have those kinds of players. But what's the main issue with that? They're always we have too many guys who are ball hawks on the defensive end, and that leaves the snipers wide open for the 3-point shot that usually kills us. I mean, you look at the games against the last game we had against Charlotte, the last game we had against Minnesota, the third game we had against Miami in the regular season, and all the games in this series against Miami. What happened? Chase the ball, leave the open shooter. Chase the ball, leave the open shooter. Chase the ball, leave the open shooter.
Right.
That's not ball hawking. That's because we were doubling. We were doubling Jimmy Butler on
Hey,
catch.
good point, Dre. Good
We
point,
were
Dre.
doubling Jimmy Butler on
Doubling
catch.
Jimmy
We
Butler,
weren't
Jimmy
ball
Butler,
hawking.
Steph
We were
Curry.
just doubling. We were doubling Jimmy
and
Butler,
then
and
looking
then
for
he
the
was
rebound
exploiting.
afterwards.
And
Then they were exploiting our circling defense because we were already
they
scrambling.
killed us in the scramble. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Miss
wasn't
threes,
because of the
lead the
ball.
long rebounds, and repacking down in the paint and the drop
I was
coverage.
getting to that.
Chances are you're not getting those rebounds.
Yeah.
And just real quick too, another misnomer is that the Knicks perimeter defense was bad. The Knicks were 12th in 3-point percentage against, so they were 12th, and then in overall field goal percentage against, the Knicks were 3rd. Right. So when you look at what the Knicks did defensively, just take into account that the Knicks as a team, right? The defensive percentages were pretty good, but look at how many shots per game the Knicks were giving up. They were 14th in the NBA with 88 shots a game, right? So when we held teams under that 88 shots per game, say if we held teams to 75, 80 shots a game, it made our defense look elite, but it's only because of the pace of that game, where if a team beat us 100 to 91, it makes it look like our defense was bad because we couldn't score more than 91 points. But man, you held the team to 100 points when the league average is 108. You know what I'm saying?
To your point, there was a lot of games that we all know we watched where we won games where teams was wide open shooting them, and they were bricking them.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of 3-point attempts where people was taking and they were missing. It wasn't necessarily the defense was so great. The teams were missing them threes.
I think not to even detract, like in the playoffs, Tibbs can tighten the screws and figure out what a team is doing offensively and make it harder for them. But on the flip, teams can also do the same things to us.
Exactly.
And this is the problem when you don't have a certain level of talent to overcompensate for where Tibbs lacks in his as far as being a tactician offensively. Okay. So like it's like I agree with you. Petty Roosevelt, I forgot your name. Nick G. Yeah, I was gonna say like I agree with you, but like there's blame to be on both sides. Where we would like to have more talent or guys that are known as snipers or shooters, where it would stop teams from doing that. But when you're already in it, you need to be able to pivot. And no matter who you're throwing out there, you need to be able to have a means to generate spacing. Like the reason why we get all these open threes from IQ in the corner is because we run that hammer play, right?
Yeah.
We don't have any other alternative actions. We just run hammer. That's it. In order to get that type of look. And there's a myriad of ways to get those looks when you're not
you're not out there with a bunch of hammer, bro.
Yeah.
Drake, can you
LeBron recognized it and closed out the Warriors in the game by seeing the hammer play.
Yeah.
And call
I don't know.
So Drake,
I don't mind changing the offense.
You really sum this thing up to 2 words. 2 things. Personnel and offense.
Yep.
That's our problem. The personnel in the offense. It ain't the defense, so to speak. It's the personnel in the offense, man.
I agree with that. I just always get bothered when people call out, like, change the offense, and I'm looking at wide open shooters or people taking wide open shots, and they're bricking it. And if I'm a coach, I'm just being honest with y'all. If I'm a coach and I see that I'm generating the correct shots, wide open shots for people, and people are not making the pass, or people are just missing shots, I'm not changing my offense. I'm changing the player. I'm sorry about that. Like, forget that. Like, I would take OG Anunoby over what RJ Barrett gave me all season long.
But
where's OG though?
But Nick G, though, here's the thing. Regardless of the player, if Tibbs is not getting back actions on the offense, guess what OG Anunoby is going to be doing?
The same thing.
The same thing RJ Barrett is doing.
If
he's going to break shots and he's a better shooter, wide open.
It happens. It happens though. Like over the course of a series, it can happen.
I know it can happen, but I'm saying if the guy is shooting 10 percentage, no, actually, you know what? 30 percentage points higher than what RJ Barrett had been giving you, then how could you sit here and say that's not a more reliable play than the player that you already have with wide open shots? That's better.
But in that one particular game,
to grind, you wouldn't feel more confident.
But this is the thing. It was like we just went against the Miami Heat, and they had players that were missing threes as well.
Yeah.
But you know what they did? They generated easier looks for Jimmy Butler. They generated repeatedly generated different looks for guys with actions that put guys off ball and had them moving around. If you're doing the same thing over and over, that is the definition of insanity. Like you can't just do the same thing over and over with a static position in offense. Like hypothetically speaking, say OG Anunoby has an off game, and it happens to the best.
Nah,
of the
not for
NBA.
Knicks fans. No, other players don't have off games, bro. Only Knicks have off games.
Say he has an off game. Say he has an off game, right?
Nah, you can't say that because Knicks fans could be like, no, only RJ shot 1 for 10 in an elimination game. But then we watched Joel Embiid shoot 5 for 18 in an elimination game when he was being guarded by Al Horford, and
Yeah, Clay shot
nobody
bad.
says a thing.
Clay shot.
Nobody got nothing to say.
Poole was terrible.
Yeah,
Poole was
Poole
terrible.
was over kissing the
The
whole
pool
playoff.
party looked like an inflatable pool.
Right,
Like-
right. Pink dinosaur, yeah.
But to finish my point, like if OG hypothetically, even though they never do, if he if he had a bad game from the perimeter, do you trust Tibbs to be able to find a way to get him easier looks?
Okay.
No, you don't.
The one thing that this is why I keep pushing back. There were shots being generated, whether it be in the playoffs or all season long, that guys just weren't making a pass. And I'm blaming Brunson for this at times. I'm
True.
blaming Randall for this at times.
RJ as well.
I'm blaming RJ. There's a reason why IQ was mad.
Quickly.
IQ and also Obi Toppin were mad at RJ Barrett for not making a pass. There's a reason.
Right.
And
But
then
you
when,
know, Nick G quickly did the same thing too when he come in the game, man.
yeah, but you know what? But I could sit here and say quickly at least tries to pass or had made an effort to. We have
Yeah,
a bunch
he-
of guys
But
that
here's
don't try to
here's the
pass.
caveat to that, Nick G. Here's the caveat to that. When you look at the Knicks play, how they play, there's the way we play is it's by design. It's for the lion's share of shots to go between 4 players, right?
Yeah.
And
You know,
and it's by design. We try to shoot open threes and try to attack the rim, and that's part of the reason why we had an effective offense in the regular season, not an efficient one. We were by design to attack the rim, throw up whatever at the rim, let Mitch clean it up, and that was part of effective offense, not efficient offense. So when we talk about like how, why is RJ taking that shot at the rim? It really, and we've seen Tibbs pull RJ for doing things that he doesn't want. When RJ is attacking the rim and throwing up whatever at the rim, it's for our bigs to clean it up. That's legitimately part of our offensive strategy.
It
It
is.
might not be, you might not like it, or you might not like the process, but that's part of our offensive
I'm
strategy.
completely fine with it.
Live off of volume, throw up a lot at the rim, finish at the rim, clean up on the glass. And when you rely on those particular things, that can be schemed out of
that
in the
can be
playoffs.
schemed. That can be schemed. That means yes. So basically, in a nutshell, Tom Thibodeau is Buddy Ryan. That's basically what it is, bro.
Wow.
That's a great point. What was Buddy Ryan?
Meaning in the
Great,
sense of like
great
the-
defensive coordinator.
Yep. That's basically what Tibbs is, bro.
Not so much offensively. Great defensive coordinator. Same
Right.
thing with Rex Ryan. Great
Maybe
defensive
Steve
coordinator.
Spagnolo.
Great
Right.
defensive coordinator.
We try to
He-
we
he a
try to
fo- he a
do ground
foundation
ground and pound. We try to
He a
do ground.
foundation setter. I got to give Tibbs that. He a foundation centerpiece. We needed that when he came in. He fixed the foundation. But
Now
now
it's time
we
to
need
go.
somebody to build the walls and build the roof.
Right. And notice and for those that let me paint a picture. Basically, you don't have your construction crew be your interior designers. Both of them work on the building, both of them work on the place, right? Right? But you don't want your interior designers out there trying to work a backhoe, right? And you also don't want your loud construction dudes with they Tim smoking cigarettes and all trying to design something that's supposed to look pretty, right? That's Tibbs did his thing. He was the construction crew. Now get him out of here, right? If that's the case, if Tibbs don't change his offense, bro, he got to go. Because we are in a offensive generation where the rules of the league are designed to take advantage of a more free flowing offense. And we out here talking about giving an extension to a dude that's trying to buck the system.
I don't think they heard you, Freezy. You got to say that, boy. Hey, you dropped.
Yeah, man. I don't get it. I don't get it, bro.
You
I
dropped
don't
the gym.
I don't know why we trying to hang on to Tibbs.
And you said
everybody
the other day, Freezy, you said Knicks fans, we always talking about defense. How many championships have
How many championships they got the Knicks defense? How many championships we got for that mindset?
I'm looking for balance, man, and that's why when I talk about our offense, having a center that can score, I'm sick of going into a fight, knowing that one of my men ain't gonna be able to handle his weight. I'm sick of that. You know, we watch games, and Nick G, think about how many games you watched this year where Quentin Grimes don't even get a shot till late in the second quarter.
Right.
How many games we seen this man take 4 shots? That's just
the whole game.
In the playoffs, he was supposed to average 12 shots per game.
Absolutely agree. You
know but this is
when we look at the stuff that goes on with this team, man, we know where it ultimately falls at. And I ain't knocking Tibbs. Tibbs is a good coach, very good coach. But I think his usefulness, man, is time for the Knicks to make a change if we trying to win a championship.
Freezy, like I was gonna say, like, you see, is Max Strus a top 5 player on the Heat? No, he's not, right?
No, he is. No.
Right.
What kind of question is that?
But every time we see him, right, they utilize him and try to exploit some sort of mismatch. And they have him running off ball. They had him running pick and roll, Freezy. Pick and roll.
Right.
Because ultimately you need to use everyone. You can't just be a stickler to a specific shot night. Like, you can't be a stickler to saying Randall needs to take 17 shots, RJ needs to take 17 shots, Brunson needs to take 18 shots. And to be absolutely honest, the only person on this team that needs to take that many shots is Brunson.
Right.
You have to do it by committee, right? So when we've seen Grimes be a guy that gets the ball. Like, matter of fact, when Grimes had that blow up game against the Bucks, right? His coming out game in his rookie year when he dropped 27, right?
Right.
We were actually running actions for him to get open.
Absolutely.
Right? We come in this year, we don't do that at all. At all. He has to get it out of
ball up.
That guy
brought the ball up in that game.
Like, when we come in this year, it's like it's the street-headed monster, or when IQ comes in, he has to be ball dominant as well. And to that point, when you get to the playoffs, you're showing the same team, the same looks, 80 possessions in a game over and over. At some point, there's a reason why we only scored 90-some points in like 2 games in this series.
Right.
Another thing too, Freezy, to Dre's point. Think about it. What they were saying, they wanted to see improvement from Grimes in the offseason. You know, in that summer league, what they were looking for. Can he create for others? Can he create his own shot? Can he run the offense? We saw Grimes doing that to the tune that he took this team to the summer league championship game. Right. And then we come in the regular season. We ain't seen that in a game. Not even maybe 3. We ain't even seen 3 or 4 times in the game.
Right.
When Brunson gets pounded, when you can release some of the pressure by having Grimes.
I just want to say I'm about to go.
It
was good talking to y'all.
Peace, Nick.
Hey.
All right, peace.
All right, Nick G.
Hey.
It's about what we talking about, Freezy.
And I apologize one more time, Freezy. You know, I get kind of overworked on this stuff.
You got it.
That's passion, man. That's all Nick passion.
Yeah, it's passion, bro.
Yeah. Nick passion and frustration.
But you all gonna have to put $2 in that tip jar, Nick G. Nick G, I'm sending you a bill. All right, because
send that Cash App request.
Yeah, because man. Hey, Ron, what they don't realize is nowadays YouTube will demonetize your video. You know what I'm saying? When they get that excessive cursing on it, right? And so cats be like, yeah, they'll say a cuss word. Oh, I'm sorry. Nah, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Be generous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, I'm sorry, Uncle Freezy. You gotta pay for all this stuff just because I want to curse. Yeah, nah, man. You know. But anyways.
But y'all know the funny thing is, with a change with this offense, the philosophy, even if Tibbs stayed here, if he changed the offensive philosophy, this thing will look a whole lot better, and we'll play better.
You know he not.
We would play better if you think about how many games, and they were few and far between, where the ball was moving, it wasn't sticking, and those were normally games where you saw us have very good shooting performance. Okay. But it's hard to shoot when you don't hardly get the ball.
Right. It's hard for you to get into a rhythm.
Absolutely. It's hard to get in rhythm.
If you notice with Spoelstra, he purposely tries to target 2 or 3 shooters to see if he can get them in rhythm and ride them out for however long in a game, because you're going to need those guys to be the pressure release off of Jimmy Butler. He never comes out in games where Jimmy Butler is never the guy that's taking 10 shots in the first quarter.
No.
Because he knows Jimmy Butler has the talent to get going at any point. You need the other guys to carry you along.
Right. Hey, Dre, you know what? You know what they do? And this is, every team has an approach offensively when they come out. And with the Miami Heat today, that's why when we say our defense is not the problem. Oh no, our defense is the problem. Right? Miami came out against us and ran a high-low action at the beginning of every set, right? Or not every set, but the majority of their sets. And for people that don't know what high-low is basically they'll get a great passer, somebody you have to pay attention to at the top of the key, right? Put one guy in the post that's a good post player, and then do a drag screen across that line of sight. So that if one defender has a lapse in judgment, all for one of those 4 will be wide open, right? It's like the diagonal drag. Like it looks like 3 guys on one side of the floor, 1 guy up top, 1 guy in the post, 2 guys take off for the other side of the court, and all it takes is for 1 guy to not pay attention, and either you get a midi or you get an open 3-point. Duncan Robinson operated this to perfection, because when you got Kevin Love up top as a 3-point shooter, now your big has to come out to defend Love, right? But yes. Jimmy Butler is in the post on Josh Hart. Now you're like, oh, I don't like that action. I don't like Hart. I don't like Hart down there, right? But then they drag Duncan Robinson and Max Strus across that line, right? And what you're thinking is, holy crap, they're trying to get this wide open 3-pointer right here. Even if you defend it, you still have Jimmy Butler guarded by Josh Hart in the post. So when Jimmy Butler starts with no help, you can't because they drag the defenders away from Jimmy Butler, right?
Right.
And then now Jimmy Butler starts his move and he gets into the rim. By the time Mitch recovers, all Jimmy Butler has to do is pump fake. And now Mitchell Robinson has a ticky-tack foul.
Or Freezy, like, we overreact. And then their shooters are flying to a corner, right, to catch a shoot over Brunson.
Or they'll sag off of Kevin Love because Jimmy Butler caught it. And now Kevin Love is wide open at the top of the key for 3. And you could see this, and you could see this is not a dynamic offensive set. This is a basic set, right? But they put teams in jeopardy by running it. And Ron said that the set that the Knicks use is ISO. Who can't defend ISO, bro?
All we do is call a
defensive team look like a great defensive team running ISO.
Right.
With the wrong players.
All they're doing is waiting on you to come to them. You ain't moving. And then that's the thing. We do ISO, and then we go slow with it.
And then we slow-mo, yeah.
We slow-mo ISO. So you're allowing the team defense to set up on you.
Hey, Ron,
RJ going back to Connecticut where his ISO.
He back in.
Oh, no, God.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even when OKC ISOs SGA, you know what they run for SGA? Like as soon as SGA get into his ISO, they threaten the rim. They constantly threaten the rim. With somebody running
decoys
baseline,
and distractions.
Yes, because SGA for one is a great and willing passer, right? He'll share the basketball, right? He'll throw the lob. He'll throw that intricate bounce pass. He'll do those things. And the funny thing about it is their coach doesn't just run the baseline with bigs. He'll run the baseline with littles, with smalls. You like, yo, Trey Mann getting a layup at the rim. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Miami did it to us. You like Kyle Lowry down here getting layups at the rim?
Yep.
But the Knicks don't run that. That's why I'm questioning Tibbs. Like, Tom Thibodeau, we like you, bro, but you
don't even need shooters to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It always seemed like our offense is fighting going uphill, man. We fight trying to get uphill. Like it's always a fight.
We run a lot of token
this offense to score, man.
Like we run a lot of token actions that don't mean nothing that teams don't have to honor.
Like
you're not really going nowhere.
Mitch rolling to the rim is a token action, just like Dre said.
That dribble handoff.
Oh, jeez.
That weave.
Oh my God, y'all killing me.
We run that weave with no force, no intention.
You know what's so sad, but
we're not actually doing anything.
We don't run nothing for Grimes. This is the craziest things, and everybody know it because we watch him. Grimes got a quick release, so it ain't gonna take much. You get him run a screen and have him curl around. That ball is gone. If he got a little slight room of daylight,
right?
We don't even do it. We don't take advantage of our strength, man.
We don't take advantage of a lot of stuff, bro.
Julius Randle, I agree. Julius Randle
what up, Lee?
going downhill every time.
What up, Lee?
And
What's
don't
good,
get the ball
gentlemen?
up on the wing, trying to back somebody down from Gibraltar.
Yes.
I got y'all. I hear y'all, man. But let me ask y'all a question because I'm sitting here and I'm listening to what everybody has to say. You know, and great. Everybody has great points. You know what I'm saying? They're very, very valid. My point to you is, what did we do good to get us to the Eastern Conference Finals? What made us get there? Was it luck? What was
You know
it?
what it was?
Because we can describe, we can pick apart. We can pick apart. Hold on a second. We can pick apart everything we've done wrong, but I've not heard one good thing we've done.
It's not luck, but
Right.
there's levels. There's just levels of execution.
And Lee, let me ask you this. Lee, can you go back and eat the lunch that you ate yesterday?
Depends on what it was.
Right. Right. Think about what I said. I asked, can you go back and eat the lunch that you ate yesterday?
Well, I had spaghetti,
No.
so I can eat that again.
No, you can't because it's in your stomach.
I got
You
what
can't.
you're saying. Now
Yeah, you can't. Bro, you can't as a team that's looking to make the next steps, bro. You can't just look at what you accomplished there and live off that.
Every
You just
battle
can't
is not the same.
Yeah. And we're talking about how to improve in the 23-24 season. If we stay stagnant where we are because we made the second round, other teams are going to pass us.
It's going to be the step
No,
back
I'm not.
in 2013,
Hold on a second.
2014 if we do that.
I get what Corey asking, and Corey, I'll tell you what we did good in the regular season. It's actually just what it is. The regular season, we ran ISO, but guess what? Teams weren't doubling Julius Randle in the regular season. They weren't doubling Brunson in the regular season. They allowed them guys to go ISO. It wasn't until maybe that last week and a half, 2 weeks, where teams started saying, we ain't letting Brunson just kill us. They started preparing, you know what I mean? So they started double teaming, and what Brunson saw in the playoffs, a heavy diet of doubling. Julius Randle saw a heavy diet of doubling. So all that stuff we was doing in the regular season that we was getting away with, we couldn't do it in the playoffs.
I'll say this. Brunson and Randall got doubled a lot in the regular season, but they never faced this level of intensity and like triple teams and multiple guys in the paint.
And on this stage too, by the way.
Yeah, and the rotations and like teams being honed in on you for a 7-game series. That level, like, and we know Brunson is ready for this level of pressure. Clearly, he dropped 40 while being trapped and double teamed and pressed from 94 feet. Like Brunson's skill set, it doesn't matter what the coach is running. He'll figure out a way to make it work. For other guys, you need to maximize what they do best.
Yeah, you got to maximize what they do best.
And I don't believe we did in this particular series.
No, we didn't. and some guys was on vacation early. You know,
Yeah.
they ain't got the memo that we were still playing in the playoffs. And y'all know some of the names. I ain't got to even call them.
Right.
But you look at what's going on right now with us, man. It's just a reality that this offense is outdated, man. It's outdated, and you're not going anywhere. Yeah, ISO is supposed to be when you need a basket, but that shouldn't be your bread and butter. You know what I mean? And that shouldn't be your bread and butter. Oh, we know you going ISO. We know you going ISO. We know you're gonna dribble handoff. We ain't gonna see nothing else. So, but hey, all I gotta say is, man, get me a modern day big in this thing, man. And with all them names I have starting to
You want a modern day big and keep Tibbs?
No, I want a modern day big and move Tibbs.
That's what I was trying to. I've been asking you this for 90 minutes.
Modern day and move Tibbs. Modern day freeze and move Tibbs.
Okay.
Because with that modern day big, you know what I want? I want somebody who know how to use a modern day big in a modern day era.
Right. The rules
You know what I mean?
different, bro. The rules are set up for offense to win.
Yeah, it ain't for the defense, man.
It ain't for the defense. Yeah. And if you got an old guy stuck in his ways that's not flexible and has this mentality that he's not going to change regardless of the conditions around him, right? And the rules have changed to favor the offense.
And Freezy,
that might not be the
this how we know Tibbs ain't gonna change, right? We struggle all series long shooting the ball. We got Evan Fournier on our bench who can shoot.
Right.
And we don't even dust him off near game.
Because he made Tibbs mad.
Come on, man. What are we doing?
He made
in the words
Tibbs
of Uncle
mad,
Freezy,
bro,
what are we doing? You got a guy who can shoot. And I ain't trying to say leave him out there and just let him just gobble up minutes. Even Spoelstra did it with Duncan Robinson, who was on the bench all year.
You think Tibbs will play Duncan Robinson in our offense?
No.
He wouldn't play no Duncan Robinson. He did the same thing to him.
You think Tibbs will play? No, you think Tibbs will play Buddy Hill?
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Buddy Hill will make one defensive mistake and then
he's out.
He'll be on the bench.
He gonna get the Obi Toppin treatment.
Yep.
Come on, man. What are we doing, man? It is, and I gotta applaud. Some of the high. firings. I wasn't cool with. Like y'all know how I felt with the Monty Williams situation. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But the other ones, hey man, I gotta applaud, and even to the Monty Williams situation to a certain degree, because I gotta applaud the front office for being willing to say, hey man, we seen how far you can take us, and we going in a different direction, because you cannot waste players' years. It ain't no such thing. When people be talking about the window is open. Man, every year got his own thing. Every year is different. There's no thing you can say, oh, we got a 3 to 4 year window because this player is 20-something years old. Nah, windows close and shut just as fast as they open.
Yep, I'm with you, boss. I'm with you. That makes sense in my mind.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
To Ron's point, Tibbs won't do any of this. I think these lyrics point out the basic flaw with Tibbs. Quote, what if it's true as they say, that I don't have a heart, that I'm more a machine than a man? What would that change? Would it matter at all? I've made my plan. Hearts and minds may not agree. Emotions topple strategy. You can't believe in honesty that your children can win a war. End quote. The point is...
Where's that from again?
It's from a song that I heard a few times.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the point is, most of the time with these... Tibbs treats these kids like children and thinks they can't win a war and leaves most of the veterans on the bench leaving said kids to get blown to bits. He really doesn't believe they can win a war out there on the court.
And the crazy thing is, Mitch, these are the guys he asked the front office to draft.
These are guys that
But even then, and because of how stubborn he is and set in his ways with this battle plan, does it pan out in most cases? No. In the big time, no.
Okay. Let me ask y'all this. If upgrading, Hey Ron, I find this conversation fascinating, bro.
Well, I say get rid
One
of
of
it.
the one of these,
Case.
what I may have to ask you to do, and I usually don't ask for favors. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I'll ask you for this favor. Maybe when you get some spare time, in maybe like 30 minutes, maybe we could just do an ISO with just me and you, and we can talk about this one thing specific because I want to pick your brain about it because there's other things on that path that I want to kind of get your get your expertise on. You know what I'm saying? Because I find the thing you mentioned fascinating, bro. Like I think we could legit talk about this for like 3 or 4 days. You know what I'm saying? But that's I'll text you about that stuff
All
to
right.
see just in terms of availability of it or whatever. Just you know what I'm saying? Not an open panel, just you and I, where you could just go off and then I could just ask you questions about it. But the other thing I wanted to ask you too, to others in the panel, to add to maybe to Adam, to King Ribby, is it time to trade Randall and RJ?
I say yes.
Okay.
I disagree.
My vote is no. I mean, trade one to get a draft pick, yes. Getting rid of both, no.
I asked a question. Well, it's
Because
even off Freeze's point. The
because
Trailblazers have the number 3 pick. Would you move him for Randall? Move it for Randall if they ask for it.
Well,
They ask,
let
ask for Randall for that 3rd pick.
Okay, so but Dre, let me ask you this: what are you looking to get at 3? Like, why would 3 be so important for you to move your franchise player?
3 wouldn't really necessarily mean all that much to me because at that point you'd be looking for like a guy that's almost ready made. But I'm asking you because your perspective is because you already have what you have in mind for 3. That's why I asked you that question.
No, in my mind. So in my mind, this is where I'm at where I'm at with it, right? And this is my honest opinion. So this is on wax. Josh Hart got to go.
Facts.
Obi has got to go.
Okay.
Right? You got to be and with Josh Hart gone and with Obi gone, you've got to bring in a real NBA guard. Don't bring in an NBA basketball player that's short and you call him a guard just because he's short. Right? Because in my mind, if Quentin Grimes was 6'8", he'd be a power forward. Right? If Josh Hart was 6'6", he'd be a small forward, power forward. Right?
Like 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, I'm talking about a legit, and Ron knows what I'm going at. Point guards are born.
You can't teach that.
Right. Point guards are born, bro.
Not me.
You could try to call them point forwards, nah. Point guards are born, bro. They have a thing about them. Like quarterbacks are born.
Hold on.
Right? Right?
Yeah, you got.
to
For me, a point guard is a person that wants to make people around them better.
You trying to get schooled?
Right.
That's a point guard in every sense that they are not comfortable with just their offense. If the team ain't scoring, it bothers them. It hurts them.
Right. And they're an extension of the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
Like everything the coach said in the locker room leading up to it, they have all that stuff in their mind. Now, if you're a wing player, you thinking like, yo, I got to go get mine tonight. Right? I gotta get my 30. Right? You know what I'm saying? I'll help the team win by scoring 30. Right? But when you're the point guard, bro, you are the first line of defense on defense. And you are, for the most part, the initiator on offense.
Yeah, the orchestrator.
Right. And so Dre, Dre knows who I'd like to get. I don't think the fix is Karl Anthony Towns. I think the fix is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh my goodness.
Right. And the reason why I say that is because that gives you the opportunity to play both of those guards on and off ball. Right.
And you know they can do it too.
Right.
Yeah.
And when Jericho Sims, because here's the thing, I watched last year as Jericho Sims did all the fundamental stuff, and in my mind, right,
When he got
Jericho
the
Sims
start.
is the most Jericho Sims is the most fundamentally sound of all our big men. When you look at basic big man stuff,
Set
like
the best
Jericho,
screens out of 3 of them.
right? And and Jericho Sims setting the screens on the perimeter, the small things, right? Jericho Sims doesn't set the screen right in front of the guard and be walking towards the guard, doing that moving screen stuff. Jericho Sims sets the screen away from the guard and stays there. And then the guard maneuvers around that set screen. And then Jericho Sims takes off with his shirt showing to the guard. So Jericho Sims can catch the ball. Now, is he raw around the basket? Yes. But he's been trained to do all the big man stuff, and it comes naturally. What Hartenstein likes to do, Hartenstein is a short roller. He'll roll a little bit, stop at the free throw line, and leave himself open so that he can operate, get the pass to the wings, to the corners, and maybe throw up the little push shot, right? Mitch will roll all the way to the rim, and if you don't tell Mitch to stop, Mitch would just go all the way in the parking lot without looking. He has no clue what to do on. Mitch is Forrest Gump on offense, bro. Mitchell Robinson is Forrest Gump on offense, bro.
Mitchell Robinson just has his defensive sliders all the way up, but his offensive awareness is at like 27.
And I tell you another thing about Jericho Sims, his perimeter defense.
Right.
Oof.
So essentially,
it's just his. My fault, Mitch. I was gonna say one thing. I'm gonna let you go, Mitch. One thing. The only thing about Jericho Sims, like his team defense is really bad though.
Yes.
Like he doesn't know where to go or where to be.
He don't. Him and Obi are spatial awareness, not knowing where you are on the floor and not knowing where others are on the floor.
Right. Then Mitch wanted to say something.
No, I got.
Okay. As I was saying, so what you're basically saying is, Freezy, it would be better if we give Sims more of the starting 5 role and force Mitch up and basically have Mitch play off the bench every now and again.
No.
Well, that's what it would sound like to me.
Say that again, Mitch?
No.
I was reading a comment.
No, he thinks I want Jericho Sims to cut into Mitch Robinson minutes. No.
I'm just saying, I mean, with the way it's set with Mitch and Hartenstein right now, and Tibbs basically handicapping Hartenstein, taking away the reason we got him in the first place, i.e. shooting.
Passing as well. More so the passing than the shooting.
No. And so, Mitch, basically what I was saying is Jericho Sims' skill set is better for the modern NBA game on offense, right? But Jericho Sims still has issues like he's a habitual fouler and slack fouls too, not even hard fouls. Pump fake, Jericho Sims is in the air. You got him. Like for instance,
what Mitch used to be.
Yes, a habitual bad fouler, and that's always going to keep him on the bench.
But I was under the presumption that if given more time to play, which trust me, Tibbs is not going to do, even when Sims gets back from shoulder surgery,
right,
or recovers from said surgery, he probably won't do it. Right. But my point is this: we could at least have someone who's not too big of a chicken to go to the hoop and drive it.
Right. And so basically, what I'm getting at is if you combine all 3 of these centers, you'll have one heck of a center. It's basically what I'm getting at.
But the other issue is this team is offensively stuck in a time loop. It doesn't want to evolve with the rest of the NBA.
That's where the front office got to force their hand.
Right.
What? But is Leon Rose going to do that? No, he's a people pleaser when it comes to Tibbs.
I can't argue with that.
Right. So what I'm going to say just real quick on the thing, is it time to trade RJ and Randall? What I'm going to say is maybe no to trading RJ, right? But Julius Randle's trade needs to be considered, right? And not because Julius Randle is a bad person or Julius Randle is a bad player, but at some point, if the fans don't like you, bro, it's not even about winning and losing no more, right? If the fans can't stand to hear your name, it might be time for you to. And it don't matter if the fans are toxic. We know the Knicks fans are toxic.
Yeah,
right. We know that already. But just at the sheer mention of Randall's names, Knicks fans get set off.
And truth be told, a lot of fans ain't forgiven for last season.
Yeah.
They held that over his head all season long. They was just waiting for him to have a bad game to say, I told you so.
Right.
We can't win with him, and we can't, you know what I mean? My thing with Julius is more objective. You know, I give him his credit. He gave us 25 and 10. But the thing that I look at 2 years in the playoffs.
Right.
And I look at the pressure-packed situations, even when we in pressure-packed games in the regular season.
Right.
How he performed under those pressure, under those lights. And it's not good. You know what I mean? And so it's just for me to a point where if I'm moving on, I'm moving away from the guy that's 28 about to be 29. And like I said, this is the only time you will ever hear me talk about RJ and his age.
Right.
Is now. Because of what I saw from him in this second playoffs opposed to the first playoff. Because y'all know I was ready to fly him up I was ready to drive him up out of New York. But he's showing proof in the playoffs. And I gotta give him his credit.
Freezy, I was gonna say like this if Randall does get moved, it might be like the Walt Bellamy trade,
right?
Where
I think Randall want to go too.
Where it's a talented player, but he just didn't fit the specific timeline.
Yeah,
right. I know about the Bellamy trade. The Bellamy trade was the Knicks' fault, but anyway. What I'm suggesting to y'all is this, right? I'm not gonna say trade Randall without offering some type of solution. I'm not saying get Randall out of here.
Nah,
right. I'm a fan of Randall. I'm a fan of his family. I'm a fan of his play on the court. But at some point, when the masses are just like, "Yo, we had enough," I think it's just time to, you know what I'm saying?
Cut me.
Yeah.
It's like Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. Yo, it's like, it's like right now how the Jets feel about Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. At some point, bro, just it's sports. Sports is not designed to feel this way. But let me just do this thing right quick, and I promise I'll back out of y'all way. I think the best option for Randall is this. I think the best option for Randall is trade Randall to the Dallas Mavericks for the number 10 pick and their 2026 first round pick. Right? And how that fits Dallas is this. It gives Dallas that secondary or third guy to go with Kyrie and Luka.
Absolutely.
Right? So Randall goes there, and he's the third guy. Now he's the beast on the boards, and Randall can get some catch and shoot. And now, instead of having RJ Barrett create open looks for Randall, Julius Randle has Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic creating open looks for him. Julius Randle is the winner.
And he would accept that in Dallas, where with us, make no mistake about it, the Knicks bringing in somebody, it ain't going to be no just anybody. It's going to be a major player. And so Randle going to drop in the pecking order.
Yeah.
So I don't think Randle would accept being the third option on this team. I don't think he will.
Nah, because who's the second? We ain't got no second option.
Exactly.
So, but the thing about what makes the Knicks better though, in that trade is, I think the Knicks will have to take on a bad salary from them, maybe like Dwight
Tim
Powell and Davis Bertans or Tim Hardaway, something like that, just to make salaries match.
I don't want THA back.
I tell you what, I'd take Tim Hardaway off that bench.
Right. Yeah, right. But the point that I'm getting at is, regardless what player you get from them, they're not a core piece right? They're not gonna be a core piece. You're getting them to execute the Randall trade. And now, with that said, who's gonna play power forward, right? Not Obi. Not Obi. I'm doing the same thing,
No.
Dre. I'm doing the thing that Dre mentioned. I'm trading Obi to Indiana for that late first round pick. And then I'm going to get a young prototype, bouncy power forward that's like the future of the NBA, right? Those power forwards that come into the league that can defend on the perimeter, that has all this energy, that's athletic, that's going to shoot the three and all of those things. And I'm going to pair that 19, 20-year-old with Jalen Brunson and RJ. And then at the 10 pick, I'm getting a super athletic guard, right? I'm getting a super athletic guard to be the backup with Quickly. So now Jalen Brunson is the leader of Grimes, Quickly, and that young guard off the bench.
Okay.
And I think that and Josh Hart has got to go. Josh Hart can't come back under no circumstance.
And Freezer, that's a major thing for me. Is that bench, man. I need a real point guard.
Ron, I got a question. I think we need more. If we're gonna do that with Dallas, as far as Randall, which I'm not too much opposed to, but only just the one thing I'm saying, we're not getting enough back in return. Besides,
You
you
might
know
have
what
to
I'm
put
saying?
a third team in the trade, but getting that
We need a little bit more back, considering.
I'd like a player that can play like right now.
Nah, Lee, you ain't gonna get.
But see the problem, Lee?
That you ain't gonna get because we asking that's that Knicks thing that we always feel like our guys are more valuable than they really are.
The reason why I say that, Freezy, is because the man has made All NBA twice.
Okay.
And we're giving away an All NBA player, possible player,
right?
And we're getting back. You know, if we was to go out there and do that, or we're giving them four first round picks and two second round picks. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear
that
you,
was us.
I hear you loud and clear.
So here's the thing. When you do that though, notice I didn't say Dallas sent you is guaranteed to send you a player back, right? In my scenario, what I'm thinking is I'm doing if I gotta take back a player, then I'm asking for more, right? But if they just take Randall for those two picks, then we win because we get cap space. Right,
and then we get a top 10 pick, lottery pick.
You get a top 10 pick, you get cap space. Now you're looking at maybe pursuing Jeremy Grant in the same offseason. Now you have the two rookies and Jeremy Grant replacing Julius Randle.
And the thing is like I said earlier about the whole thing with Randle, if we looking for somebody to come score 25 and 10, it ain't happening. Don't look for that. Don't look for that replacement. What we got to look at it as is a way to make this offense better because we all know the RJ and Julius Randle and Brunson, that's not a good look for this team. It's the offense is going to be stagnant because you got three high usage ball players. The ball will never move, and that's what we're talking about is the
high
ISO
usage
situation.
and not even efficient.
Trying to get away from
efficient. Yeah,
not efficient. We got to get away from that. We trying to get this thing to be modernized and not be archaic, you know. But the thing is, Randall will get you back some good value. You know, you'll get just for everything that Corey Lee just said. You know, the all-time two All-Star appearances and two All-NBA teams to go along with 25 and 10. Second power forward in the league this year to Giannis on it, man. Come on, man. We'll get something good, but Freezy was just giving you a baseline.
Yeah,
I think of what you would start a deal at.
Man.
Point.
Yeah, and basically what I'm saying is don't force a Randall deal. Don't be trying to force nothing down another team's throat. Yeah, other teams ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? Other teams are smart too. But let me just do this real quick. Ed Winning, thank you for the generous contribution. Ed Winning says, please bring Shea. He can unlock RJ. Bim. Yes, he can. And Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, Don't beat Cleveland without Josh's D on Donovan Mitchell. So stop. Oh, so we don't win. We don't win that series against Cleveland because a role player that can't shoot off the bench was electric. I got something for that, Paris Duggar. Paris Duggar in the building. Here's breaking news. Breaking news. We're going straight to Paris Duggar. These are his comments about Josh Hart. Man, John, get that dude out of here. Get Josh Hart out of here, bro.
I agree with getting rid of Josh Hart to some level, but here's with the trade he proposed. My issue is the fact that we'll need to keep our fingers crossed as to where Leon Rose once again does not fleece this team out of a first-round pick.
Right.
I tell you, Mitch, I think this is the year we're gonna be happy.
That blasted gullible when it comes to giving away draft capital for picks. You know he's just gonna splurge.
Mitch, I think we're gonna be happy this offseason. I just feel it's something in the air different about our Knicks this year, man. It's just something different, man. It's just something different.
Rob, please listen. Hear me out. Even if you do pull the Randall trade off, even if you do pull getting rid of whoever it was we shipped Obi to Indiana, the odds are quite high that Leo Rose is going to be so gullible that he's going to pawn them off again. That's what's going to tick me off, even if we get these picks next month.
Right. Hey, so Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says you got to stop trying to break up a Final 8 young team. Yeah, so the thing is I agree with that too. Like, I'm not trying to break up a thing, but at some point when fans are constantly complaining about Randall every day, at what point do you start listening to the fans?
That's why they fans and they don't work in the front office.
Say that again, Smoke.
That's why they fans and they don't work in the front office.
Right. Well.
There are days you just wish you could block Leon trading away these picks. Basically, the whole NNA mindset. He basically, or where he's basically getting shot, sandbagged, and swindled every time because he's willing to he's dumb enough to give away money to scam artists who can use his money and buy jawbreakers with it.
All right. You going off the ledge? You jumping off the ledge. But listen,
gasket, man.
Yeah, hey, Paris.
You're about to have a stroke.
Paris Duggar says if Randall played hard full time, we're playing Boston, and I agree with that too, Paris Duggar. But the fans' frustration is that you mentioned is what drives Knicks fans crazy. If Randall is engaged, you don't know often when he is going to be engaged and when he's not. And I like Randall, and I'm Randall's probably his number one supporter in Knicks universe. But at the same time, you get to a point where you can no longer defend your client, bro. Right? And Reese Anderson, thank you for the generous contribution. Reese Anderson says, "You think we could trade Randall for Buddy Hield?" Oh, I definitely think that can happen. Do we want Buddy Hield? Go ahead, Smoke.
No, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
All these hypothetical malarkey trades, you ready to trade Randall for Bertans? What is our record going to be? And I'm not just trying to cape for bruh. Y'all just don't be appreciating what we have and acting like dudes just supposed to show you what they supposed to show you automatically. First of all, if everybody didn't contribute to the situation and circumstances that we was in, no, we won and we lost together. So just trying to pinpoint. Matter of fact, let me calm down. I know why y'all pinpointing because y'all never wanted him here anyway. So based off the whole season.
Relax, big dog. You just trying to spray up. Now you're trying to spray up the block. Relax. You got to hear everything, and you got to hear everything in context. I was defending Randall. I was defending Randall before you even got here. I was defending Randall 4 years ago. I was the one saying Randall should come here in free agency. Right? I'm not trying to just trade Randall for the sake of trading Randall.
Now that we got Brunson, everybody forget what even got Brunson here, what even got us relevant in the first place. Now we talking about we relevant now. No, we was relevant 2 years ago when your man did what he did and shocked the NBA, which made even Duke consider to come here, which why we should be even upgraded in the first place, man. Stop biting the hand that feeds you, because you're going to get what you asked for, and you're not going to like the results.
TSK, come on in.
Hey, so Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, did Hart hit the game winner game to did Hart hit the game winner game to Cleveland also? Okay, I got something for you. Paris Duggar called me a clown. We're going live to Paris Duggar. Paris Duggar live right there in Josh Hart living room.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's right. Didn't we lose game 2 to Cleveland anyway?
That's funny, boy.
If you make game 2 against Miami, then I get what he's trying to say.
Match, real quick. TSK. Quickest question was this: is it time to get rid of Randall and RJ? And you also been saying get rid of Josh Hart. So you come in here hot, and all the one you're talking about is Randall. Why don't you come on here and look at the whole team and defend everybody or defend nobody? Because we just spoke of Randall alone. Just look like a Randall fanatic, not a Knicks fanatic. Okay, so let's start from there. I'm sorry, boss. I have to start from there.
Right.
You reject the Tibbs, get to the Randall, get to the RJ. He wants to get to the Josh, and all you come on here saying is everybody just hates and blames Randall. He just blamed 4 people, and you just saying all we do is blame Randall. So let's start that from that.
We're not just blaming. Now there are a group of fans out there. There are a group of fans out there that the Smoking Nick is right about, bro. They can't stand Randall.
Right.
No,
right. They could, but that's their opinion. That's how they feel.
And I agree.
I never said it was any of y'all. So you got to take what I said in context.
But you're talking to us though.
Yeah, talking to us.
No, but y'all feed into some of those fandoms with some of these. I'm not saying that we can't have the conversation at all. It's a conversation. You should bring it up. But what I'm saying, when we talk about some of these dudes that we want to trade for certain people, then it seems like y'all have no appreciation at all. And I'm saying y'all, meaning broad.
Okay, TSK. Okay, let's look at it from my point of view, TSK. Every single Knicks player, whether they have certain flaws, I'm going to say my first flaw I think about, when I say the word flaw, I think RJ. I don't think Randall, I think RJ. I think Randall's the most gifted, talented, and could be the best player, arguably the best player on the team. However, is there a better fit for the team than even those guys? And would I consider getting rid of all of them for a better fit? And absolutely. So Randall's not being blamed. We're not picking on Randall for that. We're looking at what's going to move us for. Is Tibbs a good coach? A very good coach. I mean, come on. Just because accolades or not, 2-time coach of the year, etc. What got us from 17 wins to 47 wins. 2-time playoffs, all that stuff. Tibbs has done some really, really great work. However, is there a better fit to take us in? Not that Tibbs sucks. Is there a better fit to take us to the next level? And that's all we're saying. Not that he sucks or that we hate him. Is there a better fit? And just like
I'm saying that, Wes. I'm saying that and I say this often, and I don't know how it gets misconstrued, but I often say I love Randall and his family. I think Randall's a great guy, and I love the fact that he took on the challenge of coming to New York. I say that all the time, and for one reason or another, it's always twisted into a Uncle Freezy hate everybody. He only care about it. My thing is if Randall, because I started the thing like if Randall has to go, then this is what you know what I'm saying, this is what I would do, right? But then there's also at the same time there's also a group of people out here that hate Randall so much there is nothing that he can do to ever get in their good graces, bro, ever. Right? Even now, this team made it to the second round of the playoffs. They still want Randall out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you saw him tearing down his poster on the internet.
Right. They still want Randall out of here, bro. You're not gonna be able to please them, bro. It's as simple as that. I can see that. You know what I'm saying?
Freezy, what you reminded me of is a Carmelo situation.
Right.
Remember when Carmelo got to a point here with this franchise? What happened with Carmelo?
But that was because of Phil Jackson.
But even after Phil was gone, Melo still left. When I was of the mindset when Phil left, I was like, oh, Melo good. Melo gonna stay. And I was hoping Melo stayed. But I understood, man. It's something called when you've been in a position for a while, hey, people gonna want to see something different. And I can't knock them for that. But I can't knock the evidence too. I mean, yeah, the dude is great in the regular season, but in the playoffs, hey, it is what it is.
Man, Ron, I booed Melo so hard one night. By the time I got to the Waffle House, my voice was gone. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody wanted to see the ice. Come on, man. But let me do these super chats just real quick. So Reese Anderson, thank you for the generous contribution. Reese says trade Randall for Buddy and RJ for Ingram, and we get better. Bim, okay, all right. I see you. And Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, respect your elder, young blood. Nah, we got and that is I did that all out of respect.
Now I'm gonna tell you the
all
disrespect.
out of respect.
Julius,
and Reese Anderson, thank you again for the generous contribution. He says RJ has proven in 4 years that his shot is not good.
By the way, escape.
I tell you how to disrespect the Julius. This is the one that don't make any sense to me when I hear people say this. Trade Julius Randle in New Orleans for Zion.
No.
I'm like, you got to be out of your mind. I'm not trading for a guy. I'm not trading for a guy who can't come to work. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, by the way,
I'm not trading for a guy who's a glass can with an overkill sweet tooth.
All right, here's my thing with Randall.
Most of these dudes don't come to work, man.
Versus
but you look at Zion.
Randall.
Zion is exceptional.
Randall over Melo in their primes.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I consider Randall over Melo in their primes, and Melo is an all-time NBA great Hall of Famer.
Well, the team scheme is different.
Wiz, what time is it? Are you on mimosas?
It's
what time is it on the West Coast, bro? Did you have a power lunch?
No, I haven't eaten. I had a banana today.
Okay.
She had a hemp sandwich.
You had a ham sandwich?
No, a hemp sandwich.
Oh.
But Freezy, I mean, the question you asking is a good one because we talking about making this team better, right, for a championship run.
Right.
We ain't getting somebody to come on the bench that's gonna make us no championship team. We may as well forget that. There's got to be somebody that's gonna be injected into that starting lineup.
Yeah, that's a fact. I agree with that.
It's gonna have to be somebody in that starting lineup. Now, y'all know I've been yelling center. That's what I want. I mean, I want that center position upgraded, man. I'm sick of going up there and know that I got a car that a tire I need to replace, but I'm trying to patch it up week after week.
Right. Week after week. You stay out there with the air machine pumping up that tire. Yeah, I know.
Man, just go to the store and buy you a new one.
Just go get a new tire. Yeah. Now, just real quick, Smoke. I understand where you coming from about the Randall thing, bro. But at what point does a reasonable mind concede that the fact that fans drive the NBA, not front offices?
Yeah,
you feel me?
if you want to go back to losing like we've been losing, then let the fans run your team. And then we'll see exactly. They're going to be talking exactly how they was talking to us before we was in this predicament that we in now. And we kind of contribute to it as fans because I kind of feel like we like being miserable and we like being trash. You feel me? We in a position and that we trying to make our team worse and we trying to build continuity. What are we talking about? I don't agree with
how do you account for Julius Randle lack of effort on plays off.
Well, to be honest with you, like, it is what it is, man. Like, the coaching should be doing more. Other players should be doing more. It is what it is. Like, if that's one of our best players and he ain't got the best attitude, you ain't got to like it. You're going to get a worse player with a better attitude, and then we're going to be in a worse position. Like, you got to take people for who they are and stop trying to change them into who you want them to be.
Okay.
Why do you keep saying we're going to get a worse player? What if our goal is to get a better player and a disciplined player with a better fit? Why keep saying worse player? You act like there's nobody better than Randall, or that there's no.
Because it's the short term. Like, you're not going to trade Randall for a guy that's 25 and 10. Like, you're not going to swap 25 and 10.
You ain't gonna find that.
But we don't need
that's why. So there might be a short term step back to make a long term step forward.
Okay. Okay. Our CSK.
Back to the plan.
Better than Randall.
Say one
What was the question?
Is PG-13 better than Randall?
At this point in their career, no, he's not.
Okay.
You bugging.
Then we can't talk after that.
You bugging.
I'm talking about what dudes is doing now, currently, man. Yeah, that's your problem. Y'all always living off what a dude did in the past. I get that the playoff position wasn't the best, but there's a lot of circumstances that played into that, right? But we wouldn't even have been in a position to get to the second round if we didn't have players like him on our team, right? So you're going to trade our one rough player for some soft players, and then what position we going to be in, and then we're going to be complaining about some other stuff. Oh, get this player in here. Why we bring? Ready to hate on the owner, the front office, the GMs, the managers. Man, stop setting yourselves up for failure.
Freezy, wasn't you talking about PG-13?
Yeah. Yep.
So we switch out
in place of Randall?
No. I wanted to say, or maybe it was, but the thing I'm getting at is with the Randall thing. My stake on Randall is, bro, you can't have a rotten apple in your barrel of apples, bro. You just can't. And people are telling y'all, they warning you, like, this dude is a rotten apple.
Excuse me.
Like he's a rotten apple, bro. And I don't believe it. I don't believe Randall's a rotten apple. But bro, at some point, you can't. It's just too much to manage, bro. It's just too much to manage. Now you have to have the team psychiatrist on the court, and yes,
So
that person is on the court because I saw it with my own eyes. And two,
not you saying, I'm asking.
you can't just be like, yo, we gotta manage all these things around Randall, like off the floor stuff, like the woosahs and all of that stuff.
Is he committing crimes? Or just because you don't like his body language, don't make it off the floor stuff? What is this off the floor stuff we talking about? Him kissing his wife after they win a game?
No, Smoke. Yeah, see, you took it. See, that's a bridge too far. I never said that. But I never said that. I never said any of that. If it's just a conversation between you and I, then just stick to the stuff that I said specifically. If it's a general question to why Knicks fans hate him, then hey man, listen, everything is on the table. But in a conversation between me and Smoke, I pointed out real specific things like, bro, is it all these factors, like all this stuff? It's a headache, bro. Is it not time to move on? Like with me, I deal with it. It don't bother me. The only reason why I would even consider a real change from my personal opinion is that an enforcer is never going to win you a championship. No matter who the enforcer is, whether it's Charles Barkley never won a championship, Pat Ewing never won a championship. If you go by the player type, an enforcer can't be the main leader of your team. It has never worked in the NBA, ever.
And you know what else?
And to think that Randall can be that guy, I think is wishful thinking.
You know what? Sometimes front office got to make tough decisions, man. Because I think about that Golden State team when they had Monte Ellis, and when they got rid of him, I was like, they crazy. Monte Ellis was an all-star too.
Right.
One of the best point guards in the game at the time.
Yep.
And they moved off of him.
Yep.
And the end result, we see, you know, hey, initially that didn't look like a great deal for me when I looked at it. But we saw what happened. They won championships. You know what I mean? And the thing is, you ain't sending Randall out here for no bag of chips or none of that. It's all about time and situations, man. You know what I mean? When you don't reach your ceiling with a certain player, it's time to move on.
Hey,
you know what I mean? And that's why for me, I'm going to tell y'all like this. You will never, ever see me get attached to any player no more. Them days is over.
Hey,
I'm
Ron,
attached to progress.
let me throw a team out there like it's like every time you make a point, somebody in the chat say something like building blocks, put Willis Reed. Yeah, man. Clyde Frazier.
Exactly.
You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Come on, hey, building blocks. I feel you, but nah, it don't work, bro. This is research, right? Even the bad boy Pistons who had enforcers, they didn't lead that team, bro. Isaiah Thomas was the leader of that team.
So it's
right?
Joe Dumars.
Yeah.
And remember when they had Adrian Dantley, they brought Adrian Dantley in there.
Right. Even the Lakers. You remember the Lakers? You remember the Showtime Lakers? They had enforcers, right? But it wasn't Magic Johnson.
It was Kareem.
Even
Kurt Rambis. Yeah.
Or when you
speaking of that same Laker team, when they got rid of Eddie Jones was an all-star for a guy who hadn't done nothing in this league yet, in Kobe Bryant.
Right.
But had potential.
Right. And even Draymond Green, right? Draymond Green is an enforcer, right? The Golden State Warriors still winning chips without Draymond Green, bro.
And who they move out of the starting lineup to start Draymond Green? Wasn't it David Lee?
David Lee, I think.
Ex All-Star.
Right. But an enforcer, the enforcer of a team is never going to lead a team to a championship because they don't have the mindset to do that. That's not their mindset, right? Mm-hmm. If you even consider the Miami Heat team that won a championship before LeBron and them got there, even they had enforcers, right? Lonzo Mournings and Udonis Haslam's. Dwayne Wade was the best player on that team, right?
Shaq was just there support, wasn't he?
Yeah. And so the thing about Randall, I'm not saying that Randall will never win a championship. That's not what I'm saying. Here, as one of the best, the top two players on the team, generally, an NBA team does not win with that guy. NBA teams generally win championships with high-level skill guys on the perimeter. You got to have it, especially in today's NBA. And I'm not knocking Randall. I think Randall is an excellent player. I'm gonna do the super chats real quick. So, Bilbo Swaggins. That's a fire name, by the way. Bilbo Swaggins. That's probably one of the most fire names that I heard out here on this internet. Says trade a couple of picks, IQ and Obi for Cat. Run Randall as a sixth man. Randall's contract is the equivalent of six man of the year. So have them buy into it. Okay. All right.
Oh.
And Bilbo Swaggins again says, I'm on team trade Randall to the highest bidder. But for the Randall lovers, my previous chat is the only way it works. Bim, I got you. And then Reese Anderson, thank you for the generous contribution. Whoever defends whoever defends Julius, just remember him dribbling into double teams, holding the ball for 6 seconds and shooting bad contested threes like he's Curry. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. Listen, and even with all of that, I still like Randall. But I think the groundswell for getting him out of here is going to be too much for the front office to turn a blind eye to.
And he ain't just a fan saying it.
Right.
It ain't just the fans saying Randall need to be moved.
Right.
There's third parties that don't even care about what happens to the
And
Knicks
from
thinking
the
about it.
logistic point of view, Randall's value is the highest one who get us paid us for
Ron, you're
play.
breaking up.
Yes. So you gotta maximize the value available and see if you could actually make it flip. It's not we're not giving up garbage for gold. We're giving up gold for maybe a diamond.
Exactly.
I ain't going that far, Wiz. I ain't going that far with you, Wiz.
Gold? What is he, silver?
What I'm gonna do is get what I can get and move on.
But I get what Wiz saying, Freezy, is like that move could be the move that puts you over the top.
It may be, but who are you gonna find to do that move? Like, who in the NBA right now is thirsty for Julius Randle?
LA Clippers.
The first team you called.
LA Clippers.
Right. Okay.
Dallas. Maybe Chicago.
Back to Dallas. Dallas
Maybe
gonna be
Chicago.
a but who would get back from them for that's gonna be taking us over the top.
Not Chicago is in a bad situation, bro.
Yeah,
Financially.
they're oof.
They need a power forward though.
They need a power forward though.
But it's not like listen, it's not necessarily getting what you. It's not necessarily flipping Randall and you immediately become a contender. It puts you on a trajectory where, like you mentioned, the Monte move. They didn't get Iguodala, and Draymond didn't become Draymond until a few years after that.
Exactly.
It's a trajectory thing. Like you can't skip
And even
steps.
Curry wasn't who he was when they traded Monte.
Yeah, they took a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah, Reese Anderson, thank you for the generous contribution. Reese Anderson says, trade Randall for Buddy Hield. Pacers would do it. Yeah.
I
tell y'all, one person that I was talking about last season, Freezy, that I wish we could have gotten on this team probably the last 2 years, man. Harrison Barnes, man. I would have loved to have him on this team. And not just because he a Tar Heel.
It's because he a Tar Heel, bro. Come on, man.
I love that kid's game, man.
It's just because he a Tar Heel, man. That's all.
I had to put that piece on there.
I think you would trade him for
not trading Randall for
Tyler
Harrison
Zeller.
Barnes, But I'm
If
saying
he
just in general,
Duke,
he would have been the wing that we needed on this team.
Wiz, I think Ron would have traded him for Tyler Hansbrough.
Absolutely.
Tyler Hansbrough got to be him and Eric Montross got to be the only two Tar Heel that I just despise to watch him in a Tar Heel uniform.
Right.
If you had some Duke, you wouldn't trade for him. If you went to Duke, you wouldn't trade for him.
Well, yeah, of course you would trade because he was from because you'd be getting like a Jason.
Nah, but I said Ron wouldn't ask for the trade though.
Yeah, but when you're a Tar Heel fan, you don't really know college basketball like that.
True.
I'm more of a Wolfpack guy, to be honest, Freezy.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you when we talk about coaches, that Tar Heel man and Jerry Stackhouse.
That's what
top of my list.
That's who I want right there, bro.
And out of the box thinking, the other person that I'm really high on is that person I was yelling a few years ago too, and she done went and won a WNBA championship.
Okay.
Becky Hammond.
Becky Hammond.
Wow.
Becky Hammond would do a great job as a coach in the NBA.
I think so too.
Juwan Howard. You want Juwan?
I like Juwan Howard too.
I like Juwan too.
I like him too.
I like Juwan, but he's not doing too hot over there in Michigan right now.
Only thing with Juwan you got to worry about, he might throw punches.
Yeah, and his recruiting is down too, by the way.
Yeah,
he might throw punches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna just real quick, man. Y'all know I'm self-professed, but I think y'all know by how I defend Randall all the time, man. But yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of trading Randall. Like for instance, if the fan base wasn't upset, I would even be having this conversation if the fan base wasn't upset. But when the fan base gets upset, bro, there's nothing really you can do about because
it gets toxic.
Because no matter what happens, bro, you can't please them. Randall can win a championship in Game 7 for the Knicks, and Knicks fans will be mad because he didn't do it in 6.
Freeze, I think you might be right. Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, read what Ivory 10 got to say, man. I think that's intriguing.
If he scored 39 points, it'd be like, you only got 39? Well, how about
Yeah.
40? You can get a 40.
Right.
You see that, Freezy, what Ivory 10 said?
No, I don't. I'm looking for it, but I don't see. Okay. All right. Let me do this super chat first. Reese Anderson, thank you for the generous contribution. He says, "LOL, Becky coaches Lebanon in the NBA, not the NBA." Okay. All right. Ivory 10 says the most logical trade for Randall might be just sign and trade with Washington for the return of KP.
No.
Yes.
Now, you talking that pick and pop we was talking about?
Okay.
The pick and roll action?
Right.
But
I mean, they've already played together.
And they played together. Exactly. Great point.
My other issue is that with KP was a glass cannon at the end of his career. He didn't want to work to get back to full strength. He was lazy.
I don't know about that. I can't.
KP
Nah,
done turn his
no.
career around now, man.
Nah, I'm not gonna call him lazy.
And he can stay healthy. And he's staying healthy now.
Mets. If you tore your ACL, you'd be out for 2 years, let alone being a high level athlete.
I'm out right now. I'm out right now.
That was a low blow because you already know he's not a regular athlete. So come on, man, cut it out.
Right. Nah, I just smoke crazy.
Smoke Phil Jackson. Was KP all that happy? Not really. And then the ACL tear happens. We crash in 17.
Phil Jackson was trying to trade KP. to Devin Booker. That's why.
But Phil Jackson, I think Phil Jackson was smart in that though.
Yeah, for sure.
Phil Jackson was trying to get Devin Booker and 2 first-round picks.
And almost got Brown and Tatum in it too.
Right, and almost got So you can't blame him for exploring his options.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right, but the thing about Randall is this. I'll end it on this. Randall is definitely polarizing. Right, everybody's gonna have their different stances on Randall, and it's gonna be complicated. Like with me, I want Randall to retire a Knick, and I want to retire his jersey. Right, but that's me on Randall. But the fan base on Randall is like, get him out of here right now. A lot of the fan base is like that. And matter of fact, I did a Randall tribute video to Randall, right? And before I can like tag Randall and his family in it, it had already had like 30 negative comments on Twitter.
How many dislikes?
They dislike Randall, bro. There is, and I know Twitter is toxic, and Twitter is not probably the place that you should say, hey, man, you know, level-headed people exist out here on social media, not on Twitter, right? So I know it's not the perfect place, but my thing is this, bro. There's a level of disdain for Randall that you can't wash away with playoff victories, right? Even, and I know I said that already, but I want to get y'all thoughts on: is it time to move on from RJ Barrett?
Oh no!
Give him one more year.
I tell you, Freezer, at the beginning of the playoffs, I would absolutely say 100% time to get him up out of here. But after what he did in them playoffs,
no.
I saw what I needed to see.
He y'all golden child, bro. RJ can't do no wrong in your eyes.
And more importantly, I'm not even thinking about the offensive side. As much as we know it's an offensive-driven league, I felt like his defense was way better in the playoffs than it was in the regular season.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Oh, yeah.
Period. Wasn't even close. And so it teed me off a bit because I said, okay, this is what you're showing me now. So that means your effort level wasn't where it needed. Your focus wasn't where it needed to be. So that teed me off. But I can't dispute now the other thing. The shooting was terrible all season pretty much. And he showed up in the playoffs. He showed up. If it wasn't for RJ in that second round with Brunson, we might be home in the first round.
Might be swept.
The only reason
We
that
might be
okay, lost in the first
in
round.
my view, the only reason his offense
first round loss.
The only reason, in my opinion, RJ's offense suffered throughout the back half of the season, that finger break, and trust me, it was nasty to look at, just basically threw his game off. He got scared. He couldn't hit. He lost his sense of discipline.
Right, Mets. Right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like
yeah.
if you remember before that stretch, he was playing the best ball of his career.
But that's what he's getting at.
Right.
Though,
Yeah.
that's what he's getting to.
For sure.
Yeah.
RJ
So,
had a hot 2 weeks for the whole regular season.
I'm gonna say this to this. So first of all, Paris Douglas says, "How about we do nothing and say we did?"
Run it back.
Yeah.
So they say
I
run
like
it
that.
back.
I like that comment right there, bro. How about we do nothing and just say we did? But my thing is with RJ, man, is after 4 years of seeing what RJ is, Ron, you remember that time where we were on Sim's show? It was like
I
1:30
think I
in the
know you're
morning.
going with this, Freezy.
And everybody was talking about Courtney Lee and Derrick Rose missing games. And Dre, this is no lie. This actually happened.
This is like
I was like, yo, there is a sophomore in high school right now named RJ Barrett. I think the Knicks should tank for him right now.
Well, you had everybody.
And whose mark went off, bro? Who's RJ Barrett? You know what I'm
This
saying?
is like 6 or 7 years ago, right?
Yeah. And so I was like, bro, certain guys you need in an organization that are going to be rock steady, and through tumultuous times, you need a rock, right? That's not going to be shaky ground or nothing like that. We out here at the time. Joakim Noah was taking nudie pictures on the beach and or whatever it was
at the car.
At the car. Yeah. And Derrick Rose was missing games. His baby mama did something in Chicago. He just left, ain't tell nobody. It was crazy. I was like, yo, just tank for RJ. Bring RJ in here and he'll stabilize the organization, right? But today, what I'm going to say is this. I want RJ to stay, but he can't be the man. Back then, I wanted RJ to come here and be the man. Now I say, man, you got to go get Asar Thompson or somebody like that with sky high upside, bro, and let them to develop into a Kobe Bryant-esque, Michael Jordan-esque type player. Because think about this. This is the one question I want to ask y'all, right? As long as y'all have been watching the Knicks, have the Knicks ever had a shooting guard that was the most feared scorer in the NBA?
Nope.
Oh.
And for everybody that's getting ready to say Allen Houston, he averaged 18 points for his career.
Wait. So, Freeze, you saying Tim Hardaway Jr. didn't scare teams?
But the other way. Tim Hardaway scared teams the other way.
I think we had a history of having the most streakiest shooting guards.
Freezy, you remember when Tim Hardaway dropped 30 and a half and Bradley Beal was like, that's not going to last.
Right.
And he came back in the second half and it was trash.
And he finished like with 37 or something crazy.
Yeah, like he had 30 in one half. Damn near like 27 in the second quarter.
And blew the game and the Wizards won it.
Right, and I think that's the same game too, where Frank Ntilikina hit Bradley Beal with a crossover and the crap. I think it's the same. But anyway, my point
10-cent finish though.
Then he crossed and tried to dunk on KP.
Yeah, you remember that?
That was like 2021, 2022.
If Frank would have dunked on
it was
KP,
maybe. I think it was like 2018.
If Frank would have dunked on KP, Frank would have been able to come to New York and eat at any restaurant for free
for the rest of his life, right? But the point that I'm getting at is even though RJ is my heartstring and RJ is the golden child of New York Knicks basketball, RJ Barrett is the future of New York Knicks basketball, and whether I like RJ or not, whether he's productive or not, RJ Barrett is a beacon for what is to come in New York Knicks basketball.
I think he solidifies culture. Just his demeanor.
Right. That's the point that's the point that I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Right. That he is gonna do that. Right. But at the same time, I'm not getting ready to give RJ Barrett all these roles in all these minutes when I can go search for now and listen to the words that I use. Go search for a Kobe Bryant type player. right? I'm not getting rid of this stuff. RJ Barrett is not going to prevent me from looking for a Tracy McGrady. RJ Barrett's not going to prevent me from going out and finding dare I say, a North Carolina player like Vince Carter. Right? Yeah. I like RJ.
Boy, Freezer, your mindset is right where mine is at. You just said it in a different way. You know it. What you saying just goes back to the question you're asking about who do you trade. You see what I'm saying? Because we know the goal for the next season, it ain't just getting in the playoffs. It ain't making it to the second round. It's Eastern Conference Finals and to the NBA Finals. So you got to ask yourself, which one of those two guys you talking about gonna help you bring in that major piece to get us over the hump? And right now, with the names that's popping up that could be on the market, you got a Joel Embiid, you got a DeAndre Ayton, you got Big Cat, or three of these guys at that center position. And I think about life for Brunson. That's what I'm thinking about, just about schematically. I'm thinking about life would be so much easier for that cat if you got a dude that is a bona fide problem.
So you think quickly, so you don't think guard. So you think quickly is the future of the position.
No, I think that's another thing, Freeze. That's another.
So you think Grimes is the future of the position?
No.
So how are we gonna have balanced guard play if we go out and get a center?
Well, I tell you this, I'm gonna go find me, and I told y'all this a few days ago. I'm gonna go also find a point guard for that second unit, because I've seen enough of Emmanuel Quickly trying to play that role. He is at his best when he's shooting the ball. It's not when he's trying to create for other people. Because Quickly get in that habit of dribbling, eating the clock up. Right. He does that too. I want somebody that can run, somebody like a Tyus Jones over there in Memphis.
Okay.
Or somebody like a Mike Conley in the second unit.
Okay. I
need a bona fide point guard in that second unit. And then that way Quickly can be free to do what he want to do, which is let that thing fly.
All right. So Reese Anderson, thank you for the generous contribution. Reese says, I don't know why people down on Hill. He gives you 15 to 20 points per game, probably top 5 shooter in the league, and has only 2 years left on his deal with the Pacers. We'll do it. Yeah. Hey man, I don't begrudge that. And Ed Winning, thank you for the generous contribution. Ed says RJ basically our Harrison basically our Harrison Barnes. Basically. That's basically what we're looking at for that. Is RJ would be a culture setter. Right? That's basically what RJ would be, but I'm still and Ron, my issue is with the Knicks offense, when you trap Brunson, when you deny Brunson, who else is going to initiate your offense?
Say again? I'm sorry, Freezy. I wasn't paying attention to class just now. I was looking at J Boogie comment. Say again.
Yeah, man. Hey, so J Boogie says, I'm going to share some news with y'all. I have heard on my end from a source of a very popular camp. Don't be surprised if Zion is in New York next year for Julius. How would y'all feel about that?
I don't think I'd be too happy.
Yeah.
He better bring
the thing that makes me crazy about Zion, because he doesn't play, but when he does play, his impact is just like he puts up historic numbers when he does play.
Yeah, and I heard from somebody, and maybe me and Jay Boogie are here for the same. Maybe me and Jay Boogie are here for the same people. But I also heard that the Knicks and the Pelicans are chopping it up about a swap, like a upgraded forward.
Brandon Ingram. Lord have mercy. Sign me up. Sign me up.
Fine. Zion, no.
Sign me up for Brandon Ingram.
So I but I don't know, because people DM you and everybody is sketchy. So you don't know what's real and what's you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I don't say that stuff on the air. You know what I'm saying? I kind of read the comments, and then if there's something to it, I'll let them prove themselves. right? But I also heard New Orleans and the Knicks talking.
Now, see, Freezy, now this is the thing about the Tom Thibodeau factor, right? You won't have to worry about Zion being out of shape with Tibbs.
Nah.
see, now we back to Tibbs. You see what I'm saying? That Tibbs value. We talking about establishing a culture. You know what I mean? But the only problem, man, I'm scared of Zion, man. Like to Dre's point, man, he's on the court.
What is Zion weight?
He's a problem.
What Zion's normal playing weight? Like 270?
It need to be about 250. He
But
needs to get back to
exactly.
Duke size.
If he comes down to 250, 250, it's over. It's
He got
over.
250.
250 is a problem. He'd be like he was at Duke.
Exactly.
Like
That will be
285.
and he'll be healthier, and he probably wouldn't have as much injury. So if he can get down to that weight, he takes the summer off, goes hang with LeBron, and whoever he needs to, who does trains, he'll come back. If he comes at 250, injury problems drops by about 90%.
Well, we know he'll be extra motivated because he'll be with his boy again.
Well, there's another rumor that's breaking out.
He'd be extra motivated, plus he'd be where he wanted to be anyway. Everybody remember that look on his face at draft night.
Right.
Well, there's another rumor breaking out. Reports are Knicks are trying to get Brett going back to the Bradley Beal idea again.
I don't want Bradley. I don't want Bradley Beal. I don't want it.
Right. Well, but you know what though, Ron? You know what a Bradley Beal acquisition does? You remember how I asked you if Jalen Brunson gets trapped or denied the ball? And
now you got somebody else.
You got a secondary ball handler on the floor.
Yeah. Now that is true. And he can score.
Now I don't like Bradley Beal. I don't like Bradley Beal either, man. But if we're just merely talking about, you know what I'm saying, how do you improve? Like, how do you defeat basic schemes on the floor? Like what Dre was talking about. Like Dre. Sometimes we put out so much info, so much content that sometimes we skip stuff. Like when Dre simply mentioned teams out scheming Tibbs. Some of that stuff is not even Tibbs' fault, bro. Right? Like when they denied Brunson and trapped Brunson and quickly was hurt, and now you out there with Grimes, RJ, and Josh Hart trying to handle the ball.
Grimes terrified, is pressured.
Personnel.
Yeah. Yeah, Tibbs can only do so much with the personnel he got, bro.
That's why we say the personnel and the scheme and the offensive scheme is the problem for the team. It's really crazy that we made it to the second round, if you think about it. Because, yeah, man.
I agree with what Nick G said right here.
Freezy. Yeah, man.
Hey, fellas, man, I'm gonna have to run, man. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
I hope I don't cry in the next few days, because I don't want to see no ham sandwiches come to the Knicks. In the words,
you don't want a Yogi Bear picnic.
I don't want to go halfway. If we go all in on nothing at all, go all in on nothing at all, man. I don't want no halfway.
Yeah,
y'all have a good one, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here too, man. Hey, y'all, thank you everybody for rocking. Knicks Freestyle coming your way in a little bit. Knicks at Night podcast soon come. Let me see. Bim. Okay. All right. All things in order. Let's get out of here, man. We'll reconvene in a little bit. Peace, y'all.
Hey, peace.